Last time on Square Roots, we muck around in the sewers, invest in commercial real estate, and seek admittance to magic school. Also, we meet a belching drunk in a prison cell. It's so important to see yourself represented in games, don't you think so, Matt?
And welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I am joined by Matthew Van Zant.
Heyo!
John, Magic Emperor Brandon.
I'm tired of dealing with these worthless runts. That's my magic.
And Vanessa.
Voice.
I'm Vanessa.
And this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs one chunker at a time. And this is part 3 of our series on Lunar, Silver Star, whatever. Silver Star Harmony for me. Mm-hmm. Silver Star Story for Vanessa and Matt.
Silver Star Story Touch for Vanessa and Matt.
Oh, okay.
We get Harmony.
Yeah, which is honestly the better version.
It looks really great, and every time you guys share screenshots to the group, I become filled with jealous rage.
I can't share screenshots anymore. My video capture device melted last night because it was too hot in my apartment.
And that's how Johnny leveled
hot
up.
Could it have gotten in your apartment to where a piece of electronics just decided to kill itself?
I mean, it was probably 80s in here, something like that.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
I could not. That's not livable for me.
Yeah.
No, I also
It's
would
not
absolutely
good.
leave.
Unfortunately, my AC is not enough to keep up when it's above 80 degrees outside because this apartment's like higher than everything else around it, so it just gets sunlight. And there's no trees because it's a 2008 development, so the trees aren't tall enough to actually block anything yet. So, and yeah, the houses in Canada are built to store heat, not be cool. They don't come with AC installed.
Sad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys,
It is sad.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Vanessa.
Oh, no, I didn't have very much to say about that. Just that perhaps this explains why Johnny's been spending so much time at the mall.
Actually,
that's a good point.
That's what like, because we were going to play video games at my place, but it's too hot. So
yeah, if it gets too hot, like, you go to the mall or you go to the movies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have seen some terrible movies because it was too hot. Mm-hmm. The most notably terrible was Lady in the Water.
Ooh, I saw that in the theater too. I think I've seen most of Shyamalan's films in the theater.
The last one I saw in the theater, and I liked it a lot. So thank you, Mr.
Yeah, but you were like a baby.
Would you say Lady in the Water is better or worse than The Happening?
Better.
I would say.
Oh no, I'd say worse. I would.
Much worse.
It's one that's although The Happening's bad in a different way. The Lady in the Water made me angry.
The Lady in the Water
hot dogs.
Makes no sense.
I just like the shape of them.
And The Happening is like kind of entertaining. The acting is at least entertaining.
It's like what if
so
Birdemic
bad.
had a high budget? Is The Happening?
Yeah, The Happening. I haven't seen Lady in the Water, but The Happening is almost like it's trying to be like The Room. Like, I almost feel like it was intentional.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Lady
there are some lines of dialogue in that movie that legitimately. But I enjoyed watching The Happening with a few drinks and some friends. You know?
Yeah. It's real dumb.
Mm-hmm. It is stupid, but kind of more fun stupid. Also, when I saw Lady in the Water, the film reel was off center or something, so it started showing like the boom mic in shots and things like that.
The masking wasn't done correct, and
yeah, and it looked like squat and bizarre, and so then they started the movie over again.
No,
oh man,
and I was like, no.
That happened to me. Something similar happened to me when I saw the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. And they showed like the first 25 minutes of the movie, and then something messed up, and they started it over. And I was like, "No, this movie's terrible."
You know, I think The Beach, where you get old, is the best M. Night Shyamalan movie he's made in the past 20 years, and I mean that in a derogatory way.
Okay.
Didn't he have something that was?
I thought Knock at the Cabin was a legitimately good movie.
I haven't seen
didn't he have something that was actually good?
I haven't seen that one.
I mean, I think Jim liked Knock at the Cabin a lot more than I did, but I still thought it was fun.
Yeah, he liked it more than I did as well, and I liked it more than the friend I saw it with, who I don't think will ever forgive me for taking her to go see that.
I liked the book, and I thought it's a really good compliment to the book. I thought the book was really good too.
Remember that long tracking shot in The Beach That Makes You Old, where they don't want to reveal that the kids are old now, but we all already know that the kids are old, so it's it's got no punch at all, and instead it's just embarrassing. Mm-hmm. You feel embarrassed for the filmmaker during that shot. It's what are you doing? We know what's going on. This isn't complicated.
You know, if I ever have to work with M. Night Shyamalan, I'm going to have to delete this episode off the internet.
Good.
None of you keep it to blackmail me. This is a pinky promise I'm making with all of you here in this chat and all of our listeners. Pinky promise, no blackmail.
John, I'll redub your audio and say Christopher Nolan. And then when we say movie titles, I'll just say Batman Begins or Oppenheimer.
Batman
Inception.
Begins.
Yeah, following.
You know what, Jim? To answer the question that you asked, I don't really think there's been much hot gaming news this week.
Tenet.
Yeah,
just giving
maybe we should
some
just
alt takes here.
Maybe we should just get into the old level ups, huh? Johnny.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
That backwards
Johnny, why don't you level up
movie
first?
where all the scenes are in reverse.
Memento.
Oh, how did I level up? Well,
yeah.
My streaming box melted because my apartment was too hot. But it's still under warranty with StarTech, so I will be returning it and getting a fixed one, hopefully. Because, I mean, it's supposed to be able to work in 80 degrees, right? 80-something, probably. Right? Friends?
You think so, yeah.
I would think that it should operate in 80 degrees. Yes, that's not, even though it's hot to a human, that should not be too hot for computer to work.
Well, it's too hot. Sometimes my PC will stop. I can't really play games if it's over 80 degrees in my apartment, because then my PC overheats.
Do you have a little fan thing for it to sit on? Like a little cooling pad?
Those little coolers.
It's got a liquid cooler and everything. It's just the chip's notorious for running hot. And, I don't think it's designed to work in this kind of environment. A lot of electronics start getting a little shaky when your place gets really warm.
Mm-hmm.
Because they generate heat on their own, and normally it's enough for them to dissipate. But if the environment is also warm, then it doubles the heat output. It's the whole thermodynamics thing. I recommend you take some physics courses, because I haven't.
I don't want to.
So, I did a special event in Fallout 76. I know this is the third 76 level up in a row, and I'm sorry, but it was such a good one. It's the special cowboy shootout. What's it called? The one where you're sticking up the villager. Vanessa, you were so excited about this.
Don't bother Vanessa. She's playing the Dreamlight Valley update.
I thought she would be so excited to talk about this. She was so excited to show it to me. She's like, this is the best event. You're going to love it. And now she's like, the what? Was that thing we did yesterday?
I was reading about the dream dust that I got from taking a perfect dream picture.
Oh, wow, wonderful.
Yeah, we played an event that's it's like a fake Wild West town. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, it's something. It's not it's like a shakedown, or we're robbing the townsfolk.
Yeah, there's statues of townsfolk around, and you run around and pull levers.
They're cardboard cutouts.
Yeah, they're cardboard cutouts. It's a really cheesy looking old West town, and then it gets absolutely flooded with robots to fight. rascally varmints, but it's very popular with other players. So it's like everyone who's logged on essentially shows up and just flies bullets all over the plate and fights robots. And it's great. I really am enjoying those events that we take part in.
Yeah, because they're well written.
As much as I enjoy,
like the townsfolk have really cheesy, like, "Oh, partner, don't stick me up. Here, I'll give you all my money." You know, it's cute. And then it just spits out these like tickets, like you get at a skeet ball thing. It's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. And then the like loudspeaker comes on. It's like, "Oh no, here comes the sheriff."
Mm-hmm. And it's just a big robot that comes out, and you'll find some voice logs that are like, "That robot sheriff is way too deadly for a theme park because it can kill you." Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was fun. It was a good time. So I played that. Oh, I downloaded and purchased Street Fighter 6. Ask me anything.
Oh, neato.
Here's a question. Can I download and purchase it and play with you?
Yeah.
No, I won't do that. I'll just play PUBG instead.
But, see, at least this time I bought it first because I still have this copy of Soul Calibur to play with you that I bought because you said you played it. Remember that, Matthew?
Yeah, it was on sale. Calm down.
Yeah.
It was like $10.
Yeah, right. So you'd have to spend Square Roots money for this because this is a full-priced game, but it's real fun.
Yeah,
it's got a fun story
I do really
mode.
want it though. Like, yeah, I'm not a big fighting. I've never been a huge fighting game person, but boy, I played the shit out of that demo. I thought it was real slick. What do you think of the modern control scheme? Have you used that yet? Yeah,
it makes you use it just to give it a chance to do when you do the story mode. The first chapter, you have to use the modern one. So I haven't switched back yet, but I don't know. It still kind of feels like, oh, you can't figure out how to do a quarter circle fireball. Well, it's okay, buddy.
There's a couple of things about that. One, your special moves when you use the modern control scheme are slightly weaker.
Oh, interesting.
Two, you do not have access to the full suite via the modern control scheme. Mm-hmm. But three, you can still use the regular control scheme when you have the modern control scheme set, so you can still do a quarter circle fireball, and it actually does do the full damage.
Oh, interesting.
And so you can also do those other moves that aren't part of that up, down, left, right, special button. You can still pull those off. You just have to actually do them. I think that's a really smart way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll try it for a while. If I don't dig it, then I'll just switch back to normal. Because I can do like a Zangief spinning pile driver and all that. I
can do all of Ryu and Ken's moves, but like my thing is I can't remember everybody else's fucking moves.
Well, but here's the thing is I think that's the difference between how when like you or I pick up a fighting game, we like try every character against our friends and have fun. But if you play someone who plays it seriously, they will only pick the one character that they master.
They
aren't picking. Yeah, they aren't picking every character. They're playing the same one over and over again. And I think that's where I go wrong with fighting games. But that also sounds really boring to me to just play as one character. But I guess you're then going to get really good at them. Maybe I will say that the character roster, it does have Zangief at least, but it doesn't have. It's not chock full of favorites. Like there's no Rufus or Relento or Poison.
They're definitely going to be doing season passes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Honestly, for one of the very first times, I actually felt like maybe I would be interested in getting the season passes. Like, I like all the extra characters in Street Fighter, and I want to play as them. Like, I did it a little bit with Smash, and it felt like the extra characters were kind of lame for the most part. Mm-hmm. Like, more anime boys and Mr. Game & Watch, great. He's fucking impossible to use.
I don't want to hear you talk about Mr. Game & Watch in any kind of negative sense.
He's impossible.
He is my favorite. He's my main in Smash Brothers. And I love. And he's never DLC. He's always just included. He's just there.
No, he was DLC in. I thought he was DLC. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, you have to unlock him though.
Well, I know you have to unlock him, but
yeah,
you have to unlock everybody. You start with like 4 fucking fighters in that game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I've been working on some video projects. At least I captured enough to do a couple, since I am no longer with my video capture card. But maybe I should concentrate on. Well, the thing is, by the time I order and get upgraded air conditioner, it's gonna be. There's no point anymore. It's like we get 2 weeks like this, maybe 2. Well, probably. Let's add a week every year that we descend further into our environmental nightmare. So let's say 4 weeks now, and next month or next year.
That's a whole month.
So I mean, that's why I have the air conditioner, but it's just not quite powerful enough.
It's so bonkers. I never had air conditioning in Seattle the whole life I lived there, and never needed it.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe once or twice it would be so hot during the day, so I'd go to a movie, but it's always cold at night.
See, once you get like to Poco and out to Langley, it's always been like scorchy during the summer, so it's like
that's true. It's always been a little bit warmer in Vancouver, even though it's further north.
But if you go to Vancouver, it's cooler than like those like flat land parts of it, because Vancouver's right on the.
Oh, interesting.
I never had an air conditioner when I lived in Vancouver. Like I just had to open the window to the sea breeze, and it was fine. Like maybe it was miserable a couple of nights a year, and that was it. And now it's getting bad.
This has been your Pacific Northwest Weather Watch.
Yeah,
everyone's favorite segment.
Yeah, Matthew, how did you level up?
Boy, I was kind of dreading that because I haven't really done anything. I've been working a lot and playing PUBG. I haven't played any Final Fantasy 16. I already talked about Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
Oh, that new Justified.
Watched another season of MasterChef. Oh, man, I did watch the first 2 episodes of Justified City Primeval.
And his
last night,
name
maybe?
really is Justin Fied. You're not making that up?
It's not Justin.
No, it's pronounced Justin Fied.
Okay.
His name is Raylan Givens.
He's from Montreal.
I love Timothy Olyphant in Justified. I love Justified. I love that show. I thought it was fantastic. I watched the first 2 episodes and it was fantastic. I loved it. I loved it's, it did that same thing that Justified did. It's real slow build. It's not jumping into action scenes and all that stuff. And, it's just kind of things happening. And I felt like the beginning almost felt like it was really clumsily like trying to address like racism. But I think that it kind of intentionally did that so that it could kind of examine it a little deeper, cops and racism and whatnot.
Yeah, I like that it has a real kind of like modern noir feel to it. And it's just got that kind of vibe to it. And I think Boyd Holbrook's villain character is like just adds an element of chaos to the whole thing that just makes it so watchable.
Did I say this last night? The show does not indicate this in any way, shape, or form. But for some reason, I have a deep suspicion that Boyd Holbrook is going to turn out to be Raylan Givens' long-lost half-brother. I don't know why.
I don't think so. Like, when you consider that, like, these are just based off of a series of books, kind of, or inspired by a series of books.
It was inspired by one book, wasn't it?
Elmore Leonard, one of Elmore, but that's like a series, though, right? Elmore Leonard's like Raylan Givens.
But I
There's
don't
multiple
think
books, right?
I don't think there are multiple books about Raylan Givens. I think there might be one.
Maybe I'm mistaken.
He wrote Get Shorty and Jackie Brown. Is that it?
That's a good question, Joe.
Hang on. I'm pulling up his Wikipedia now because I want to double check this because I really am not 100% sure.
So, listeners, while they do this, Vanessa had told me on chat, well, she told everyone.
Oh, there is a book called City Primeval. Huh.
Vanessa had
Get
told.
Shorty, yeah, Jackie Brown, Out of Sight, 310 to Yuma. Got some good ones.
Vanessa said, is it true that the main character in Justified is called Justin Fied? And Jim Matthews said, yeah, it's true. And I thought this was the lamest character. I couldn't believe that a prestige show had such terrible character naming. And now I find out you all were messing with me. All of you, and you should be ashamed.
The character reoccurs. Anyway, I feel like it would be a tougher swallow to release Justified today, as it is a cop drama about a cop that is kind of plays by
Very
his own
violent.
rules and is, well, kind of like he is very violent, but there's not a ton of that in the show. When you actually watch the show, he doesn't really do a lot of violence. They do a lot of slow burn. Like the threat is always there, you know?
So you're saying your favorite song right now is "Try That in a Small Town," which apparently shows like clips in its video of Black Lives Matter's protests. I'm like,
yeah, yikes! It
here's
was
my
filmed
song.
in like
It's
an area
called-
where there was like an actual lynching. Like,
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
here's my song called "Whistling Dogs." I don't know why you're all offended by these whistling dogs here.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well be
I haven't
called
heard
Didn't
that.
they
I
call it,
read Michael Harriot's tweet thread about it. That's all I know about that song.
Yeah, I haven't heard the song. I'm gonna write a song called "Try That in a Big City," and it's gonna be like, "You want to shut down our drag brunch? You want-
It's gonna be just that
You
YouTube
wanna
clip
tell
of that
me?
guy getting hit with one of those hard iced teas in the face in that 7-Eleven when he was
Oh,
being
yeah.
racist.
Try that in the city."
Anyway, I haven't been up to much. I watched a couple of movies with my kids this weekend that were neither of which were appropriate to watch with kids. I watched
Oh boy, Cat's Eyes.
Showgirls.
Showgirls.
What was that one that gave
the
me
Mike
nightmares?
Judge
Night of the Living. No, Return of the Living Dead. Don't watch that with your kids. That will give them nightmares for years if they're babies like me.
What is the? It's like I'm drawing a blank on the name, even though I obviously know what it is.
Idiocracy is what you
Thank you
watched?
very
Oh,
much.
Idiocracy,
We
yeah.
watched Idiocracy, which was pretty fun. Honestly, that movie I think mostly holds up. Like there's some slurs in there,
And
but
there's the
you
whole
know, it's one of
concept
those
that-
situations where the people using them are morons and like bad people. You're not
That's
supposed
not
to
my
like
problem
them.
with that film. My problem with that film is it says poor people have stupid kids. And fuck
Yes,
you,
yeah.
movie. Fuck you.
Yeah, that
you
that
fucking
was my
piece of
thing
shit.
too. It treated poor, like all the poor people as fast food shoveling idiots.
I don't know. I think that it does definitely show like that. The premise is definitely that like poor uneducated people have shitloads of kids and wealthy, intelligent people don't. But I don't know that it is supposed to have as much to do with the amount of money that they have. But
It's
that is how it
eugenics.
shows
It is fucking either way. It's eugenics and fuck.
I mean,
you.
is it eugenics?
Yeah,
Are
it
you
is.
kidding me? Give me a break.
It is fucking eugenics. That's what that movie's about. It's like, oh, dumb people have dumb kids. It's their dumb genetics. Fuck you, Mike Judge. Fuck you. That movie's a piece of shit. I'm allowed
Well,
to be
I enjoyed it, and I
randomly
watched it with my
mad.
children, and
It
they
is
enjoyed
hot
it as
in this
well.
apartment.
Pretty
and
funny.
Mike Judge
Terry
supports
Crews
eugenics.
plays like a Hulk Hogan Donald Trump, which is pretty entertaining. And yeah, it was fun. And then we also watched Tenacious D: The Pick of Destiny, which was pretty gross. Honestly, that movie's so stupid that it's like barely funny, but it's pretty funny. Like it's funny.
To me,
It's not...
the thing that makes that movie worth watching is the tripping on mushroom sequence where Jack Black imagines himself as a baby Sasquatch with a daddy Sasquatch.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. And you get Dave Grohl as the devil at the end, which is fun. There's a ton of cameos in it. Paul F. Tompkins is all over it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I saw I almost want to say I almost wonder if it was uncredited. I didn't look. Amy Adams is in like one scene, and it must have been before she had gotten famous. So that made me laugh. Anyway, that's it. That's how I leveled up. I watched some old stupid movies, and I love that new Justified. If you have enjoyed Justified in the past, 100% check it out. And if you have not enjoyed Justified in the past but are interested, check it out, because it doesn't really seem to be leaning very heavily on the events of Justified, other than the very first episode of Justified, where he shoots a man. Anyway, Justified. Hey, Jim.
Hey.
How did you level up?
Well, I also watched Justified, and I feel like I should mention on air that I think Timothy Olyphant has the most perfect head of hair I've ever seen on another human being.
For a man
man's
who's
hair-
not bald, you are obsessed with hair.
Oh man, I notice it. I love it. I watched an interview with Timothy Olyphant recently where he was telling stories about working with David Milch from Deadwood, and God, his hair in there, I was like, God, that's beautiful.
What
but
about?
also-
All right, hang on, real quick. Compare for me. Who's better? Who's got the better hair? Olyphant Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, Oliphant, hands down. Gordon
Wow, that's
Ramsay's
crazy.
got like the kind
I think he's
of
got plugs.
over-styled, color-corrected celebrity host hair.
Yeah.
So
I don't think Gordon Ramsay's
definitely
hair is
Oliphant.
real at this point.
Yeah, Oliphant's got like that long salt and pepper slick back thing happening. It looks great.
Well, he's always kind of been like a scruffy pretty boy. Is sort of his. At least that was what his thing in his 20s and 30s.
You mean Oliphant?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he really found his instrument as an actor until Deadwood. Because you watch him in like his older roles, like in the movie Dreamcatcher, that Stephen King adaptation, he's like kind of chubby and he's got short hair, and then when
he was the cool guy in Go. He was the 20-something guy that Carrie dated in Sex and the City.
That's right.
The 90s roles that I remember him from.
Yeah.
And I it wasn't until a few months ago that I realized there was two shows, that Deadwood and Justified were not the same show, because they sounded like the same show.
Yeah. They're both excellent shows, by the way. But on another note, I also started watching the television or the Netflix series Beef, starring Stephen Yeun and Ali Wong, about two people who are participants in like a road rage incident and start to like kind of become obsessed with sabotaging each other's lives. And man, that is a good show. It's pretty dark, and it's got a lot of really interesting stuff going on, and every actor in it is just awesome. I also
It's worth noting.
the demo.
I walked away, so I didn't have a chance to say it. It's worth noting that Timothy Olyphant basically plays the same character in Justified and Deadwood.
Yeah,
they very clearly hired him for Justified based off of Deadwood.
He's
like, do that again.
Sheriff. He's the sheriff of Kentucky in Justified.
Well, it's also a very similar thing where it's like they're always kind of like the violence is always kind of like a real long burn, you know? Like, by the end of the season he's going to murder somebody, but
yeah. I downloaded and played the demo for the new wrestling or the upcoming wrestling RPG WrestleQuest.
Ooh.
That is super fun. It's like a turn-based RPG where you play as wrestlers, and it's set in like a world where everyone is kind of like a toy or an action figure, and all of them aspire to be wrestlers. And there's like a whole world with different regions where there are different, wrestling leagues and businesses that they try to get into. And in the demo, you play as a couple different up and coming wrestlers. And then the first one, you're a wrestler trying to get into the business. You're kind of like a Macho Man, Randy Savage kind of wrestler. And then in the second chapter of it, you play as a member of like a wrestling company that's run by your father. It's a really interesting game. It's got some really cool mechanics. I would suggest checking it out if you're looking for like a light RPG that's got really good writing. I think it's pretty funny.
It looks like it has a lot of cameos from real world wrestlers too.
It does, and like the main like revered figure of their game world is Macho Man Randy Savage. There's a statue
that makes sense
of
to
him.
me.
There's a statue of him where he's surrounded by cups of creamer because he's the cream, the cream
He's the
rises
cream of
to
the
the
crop.
top.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's really good. And the music and the sound effects are great too. And I also started playing for the first time Shadow Hearts, which is a game that I've never played before. And I'm really enjoying it. It took me a minute to get used to the whole judgment ring mechanic, which they use for everything, not just combat, but even like picking up certain items. You have to use the judgment ring, which is kind of annoying. But like I find the story to be really good. I've played through like the fishing village where there's a ghost. And I fought that really hard boss there. I think the game's pretty challenging. I've even put some time grinding in. Like every time I get to a new area, I'll grind a couple levels, and I still find myself like barely getting through the boss fights. It's pretty challenging. But yeah, I'd recommend that too. I'm excited to get through that and then play Covenant. That'll be fun. Let's see. Anything else for me? No, I don't think so. Vanessa, how did you level up?
I love the theater loves me. I love the theater. This time, what did I see? 1776. It was okay.
That sounds like a racist movie.
It's not a movie. It is a theatrical production.
She did
It's
sing a whole
musical.
song about that. Establishing.
Yep, I sang a whole song about it. And this production was a cast of entirely women or non-binary people. So that was different and interesting, playing the founders and whatnot. I liked the performers, like it was all good. I liked the parts where they weren't singing and were just talking about congressional procedure and the establishment of the Constitution.
Sounds like Vanessa.
But the score was not for me.
Was it?
And I think that it
Hamilton-esque rap?
No, this musical was written in like the late 1960s.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, and was originally just done sort of straighthtforward.
It's weird. I've never heard of this movie.
Yeah, it is bizarre. There actually is a movie called 1776. You should rent it and watch it.
Isn't that one?
It was interesting in that
Feels like a trap.
it was just like the 3 weeks right before the signing of the Declaration of Independence. So it very much was about like congressional procedure more than anything else.
It's fun.
And kind of all takes place in these sessions of Congress. But I think that it didn't quite succeed in what it was trying to do in being Hamilton-esque, as you said, by having, a very diverse cast and a female cast and non-binary, because the text just kind of wasn't there. It wasn't written to be a musical about the participation of people who were excluded in the beginning. Although, it addresses how, anti-slavery language was struck out of the Declaration of Independence as a concession to the South. So that's fun. Could have gotten rid of slavery a whole lot earlier if people weren't assholes. But it was balanced. It talked too about how
hang on,
people
Vanessa.
in the North were really.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but here in Florida now, we're teaching that slavery was actually a good thing because it gave slaves the opportunity to live in America and better their lives.
Yeah, what I saw is that it let them develop skills, which I guess they could then use to benefit white people, because they weren't benefiting from those skills. Like it's insane. It makes no sense. It doesn't benefit white children. It doesn't benefit black children. It doesn't benefit anyone except Ron DeSantis and reaching the insane base that he's trying to reach. But that's neither here nor there, although
Imagine spending your entire life wanting to get into public service, to get into an elected position, and then being like, I'm going to teach people that slavery was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, what fucking twisted asshole.
Everything I've heard about him is that he's not actually a man who has any real convictions or beliefs. He's just ambitious. So
doesn't seem to be working out for him.
No, nobody likes him.
He's a fucking
because
weirdo.
I think he's ambitious and
doesn't
not
know
very
how to
bright.
relate to people.
Yeah. So back to my theatrical production. I don't think it quite succeeded in what it was trying to do, but the performers were fantastic. It was well directed. Everything was there, and if you like the songs and the score, then it definitely would be something that you would enjoy. I enjoyed it, just not as much as I might have enjoyed something else. I also watched a documentary called The Jewell Thief on Hulu.
Ooh. Oh, about the singer?
This is, it's about the singer. It's about her. How she stole our hearts.
And then went on a crime
song.
spree, becoming a jewel thief. She decided that would be, let's write that movie.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun movie.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. And she like sees a diamond necklace in the window and she's like, "You were meant for me. And I was meant for you." Yeah. Now this is about a Canadian man named Gerald Blanchard. And Gerald Blanchard is a lifelong career criminal. He started shoplifting and stealing when he was living in the United States as a young man. Eventually, they exported him to Canada. I guess deported, I should say.
They exported.
They exported him to Canada. They deported him back to Canada, where he continued his crime spree. Most notably, in 2004, he stole $500,000 from ATMs in Winnipeg.
Nice. Living the dream.
Yep. And he stole a whole bunch of stuff. And what's interesting about the documentary is that he participated in it and his mother participated in it. So you get like interviews with him and interviews with his mother and his biological father about his life and what he did. And he actually is like, I hate the term criminal mastermind because I don't think you have to be like that mastermindy. And if you really were very smart, you probably wouldn't be doing crime. But he was very meticulous and planned out what he was going to do and how he was going to do it. And there is some sort of like Ocean's 11-ish aspects to the way he put together these robberies. And I recommend it if you're interested in crime. Another interesting thing is that he videotaped himself almost all his life. He like was really into early camcorders and things like that, and he videotaped a lot of his own crimes. So they have a lot of footage of that in the documentary as well. The Jewell Thief. And I asked Johnny if he'd ever heard of Gerard Blanchard, and he said he never had.
Wow, they don't teach about Gerard Blanchard in Canadian schools?
Well,
I know.
You know.
This guy who stole $500,000 in Winnipeg, Johnny, that was the biggest crime Canada's ever seen.
That is the biggest crime Canada's ever seen. It's true. I hadn't heard of him. I'm sorry.
And that is the end of my level up, unless I think of something else that I did, but I probably won't.
Let's just call this the end.
end.
Just call this the end of your level up.
It's the end of my level up. It's time for Matt's stupid game.
For Matt's stupid game. That's what I'm excited about.
Yay!
Remember last week when I smashed the Star Trek category? You all were so ashamed that I'm the biggest Trekkie of all.
Who's
because I was talking about, I watched Discovery, I watched this, I watched that. No, it's me.
So, a small change to the format this week. Here are the rule changes. Each correct answer is now worth 1 point.
Ooh.
When the player that controls the board gives an incorrect answer, either of the other two players can steal.
Mm-hmm.
We've changed the format this time. There will only be 3 questions. All of the lists are very long. But there are only 15 total points available per round. So if you're wondering what the purpose... No. If you're wondering what the purpose of that is, I wanted to get back to the Lunar episode 1 feel of steal, 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 but with a lot less wrong answers.
Oh, okay.
And the 15-point total means that even though our first list is 100 answers long, we're not going to do 100 answers. We're going to do 15, which is the same point total as last time. It means that you guys will have way more opportunities, way more ability to guess correct answers. And that, I think, with the less questions, means that we will be able to steal. So there's no outs. If you get it wrong, the other two players can steal. And then if that person gets it wrong, you are able to steal again. You're not out on steals.
Oh, I see.
Okay, I only did 3. It actually might go a little fast, but it might go a little slow. I'm not sure. I don't think it'll be too long. My biggest concern with this new format is that somebody's just going to run the board every time.
Maybe they will.
So, as a reminder, this is basically Family Feud. We're going to ask a question. Everybody buzzes in. The person that buzzes in first gets control of the board and gets to make guesses until they get a wrong answer. We're not doing strikes. And then the other players can steal. As I said, only 15 total points available per round, meaning even though this first list is 100 games long, you only have to get 15 right. Does everybody understand?
I do.
I understand.
Okay. So, a couple of things before I ask the question. This one also has an omitted list of games, just like we had last week. And this time, I'm going to put it in the chat so that you don't re-guess these answers because they've been featured. They've been featured on lists in the past. So I'm cutting these out.
Okay.
Question 1 from IGN's list of 100 best RPGs of all time. What are the 100 best RPGs of all time?
Buzz.
Vanessa buzzed first once I finished asking the question.
Oh my god, that was not
That's
an explicitly stated rule.
That's an explicitly stated rule. I knew the rule. I waited like a good girl.
Wow, good little goody
Persona
two-shoes.
4.
That is correct, Vanessa.
Woohoo! Suikoden.
This list is so long that it's actually kind of hard for me to tell.
Can
We're
you
just like control
F?
effing.
That's what I'm doing.
Drop an F in the chat.
Vanessa, that is incorrect.
Whoa!
Jim,
Suikoden 2.
that is correct, Jim.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
Grandia 2.
It's going to be another control F for Matthew. Let me just... survey says... Grandia 2! That's 2 points for Jim.
Yay.
All right. Let's see. Oh wait, let me check your list of omitted games here. Okay. Super Mario RPG.
Super Mario RPG. That is correct, Jim.
Whoa!
Yeah. What about Dark Cloud 2?
Dark Cloud 2. Doesn't sound like a real game.
Mm-mm.
It's about Evil Cloud, and there's 2 of them.
Jim, that is incorrect.
Steal.
Oh, lame.
Steals.
Johnny.
All right, I'm gonna start with Final Fantasy VI.
Ding, ding, ding. That's 1 point for Johnny.
All right, and then I'll go with Persona 4.
That's
Johnny,
I guess
that was Vanessa's first choice. Vanessa, you have the board.
All right.
Well, you haven't written. I don't know
going
what
to-
everyone's guessed. I have to keep
Well,
hundreds of games in my head.
Yeah, how would you know?
You don't have to keep hundreds of games in your head.
Mhm.
I'll go with Mass Effect 2.
Mass Effect 2. Is Mass Effect 2 on this list? Vanessa, that is correct.
Hooray!
Damn it, I keep doing this.
And I'll follow it up with Knights of the Old Republic.
That is 1 more point for Vanessa. We currently have 7 points on the board. Almost halfway there.
Let's try Live a Live.
Live a live. I'm going to have to control F that one. Live a... Vanessa, that is incorrect.
Steal.
No!
I did not hear who stole first.
That was me.
Steal.
I heard Johnny.
No.
Jim.
Okay. I'm gonna say, Final Fantasy X.
Final Fantasy X. Just so that you guys know, for this list, I just copied and pasted it, but for the other lists, I did actually have to go through and do them one by one. So I shouldn't have to do this for all of them. Unfortunately, Final Fantasy X is not on the list.
Fuck? Who made this list?
Steal.
You?
Johnny. I told you, IGN's 100 best RPGs of all time.
Final Fantasy IV.
Final Fantasy IV. Johnny, that's 1 point.
All right. I should have 2 points total, though, right?
Say Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah. Persona 3.
Johnny, that's another point.
Mm-hmm. I will say...
We're at 10 points.
Yeah. Xenoblade Chronicles.
Xenoblade Chronicles. I don't know if that's in this list.
I guess we'll find out.
Blade Chronicles. Johnny, that's 1 point.
Yay! Baldur's Gate.
Come on, you know Baldur's Gate's in here. It's gotta be.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotta
be, guys.
Johnny,
Baldur's
that's one
nuts.
more point. You have 4 points, and we are at 8, 9, 10, 11. We're at 11.
All right. Chrono Cross.
Chrono Cross. You know, Johnny, I don't think so, but I'll double check.
Mm-hmm.
That's 1 more point for Johnny!
Whoa! What a fake out.
Earthbound.
If Earthbound's not on this list, I'll burn it to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Earthbound. That is 1 more point for Johnny!
Morrowind.
Oh.
Morrowind.
Elder
More
Scrolls
like
3.
Snorrowind. That is 1 more point for Johnny. There's only 1 point left in the round.
Mm-hmm. Divinity Original
Can
Sin
Johnny
2.
get it?
Divinity. Well, Johnny, that is incorrect.
Oh!
Steal.
Vanessa!
Secret of Mana.
Secret of Mana. If that's not on the list, I also will write it.
I
Yes,
would-
Vanessa. That is 1 point for Vanessa, giving us 4 points for Vanessa, 4 points for Jim, and 6 points for Johnny.
Only 14 points.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 points for Johnny. Thank you for doing math, Jim.
Wait.
All
it's
right.
supposed to be 15
Should be a
total,
little-
right?
Yeah.
How many are there?
No, you're right.
Okay. Oh, yeah. 4, 4, 7. All right.
Yeah, 4, 4, 7. All right. Now that was easy. I started you guys off with a super easy one. This one's going to be a little tougher, and I want to warn you ahead of time. You're going to have to give me a name, not just the title of a movie. Question 2. This is a list of 51. Who are the greatest movie villains of all time?
Buzz.
Buzz.
Johnny buzzed first.
Oh.
Darth
I don't think that's
Vader.
true, but
Okay, well, that's what I heard. I don't know what you want from me.
Darth
That's
Vader.
1 point for Johnny.
Yay! Okay. Well, who else is a good villain? Why am I blanking on this? Nazis. No, Adolf Hitler.
Did you say Nazis?
Steal.
I said Adolf Hitler.
Steal.
Vanessa. Johnny, that is incorrect. Vanessa has the board.
Hannibal Lecter.
Hannibal Lecter is number 4 on the greatest villains of all time. Also, Darth Vader was number 1.
Yay!
Wow. Kaiser Soze.
Vanessa, that's 2 points. I
Woohoo!
don't know where he is on here. Oh, there he is. Number 16, Kaiser Soze.
Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger. Come on. He can't possibly be on the 1 point for Vanessa.
Jason.
Who?
2 points for
Jason
Vanessa.
Jason
Jason
who?
Bourne, he's a protagonist.
We all know
Yeah.
who she is.
Jason the Argonauts. He's a good guy. Kind of.
Freddy Krueger is number 31. Jason Voorhees, number 20.
Okay, this is going to be going out on a limb a little bit, but I'm going to try it. Ghostface?
Ooh.
Ghostface Killer! I don't think so. But I'm going to
steal.
double check.
Oh.
Before anybody steals, I'm going to double check.
All right.
Vanessa, that is incorrect.
Buzz,
Seal.
Buzz.
Oh, no.
Jim.
I want to say Anton Chigurh.
The fuck? Anton Chigurh, No Country for Old Men, comes in at number 3, Jim. That's
Oh.
1
I
point.
couldn't remember his
Wow.
name.
I would like to say my next guess is going to be Hans Landa.
Great job.
Name the
that?
movie.
That's from Inglourious Bastards.
That is 1 more point for
Oh.
Jim.
I would not have got that.
I can't see him in the list, but I remember that he's in there. There he is. Number 15, Hans
Yeah.
Landa.
I'm going to say Pennywise from It.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
Yep, that's 1 more point for Jim.
All right. What about Emperor Palpatine?
Emperor Palpatine. Good one, Jim. He comes in
call
at
him
number
Sheev.
49. That is 4 points for Jim, 4 points for Vanessa, 1 point for John, puts us at 9. Jim, continue.
I can't believe Adolf Hitler's
what
not
about-
one of the worst villains? in
What about
movies.
Hans Gruber?
Hans
Ooh.
Gruber, that's yet another point for Jim. He's
Double
running away with the
Hans.
gang.
Both the
Double
Hans. Look at that.
Hans.
Number 48.
Mm-hmm.
What about the Joker?
Ooh.
Oh, Jim, would you believe he came in at
Ooh.
number 2? That's 6 points for Jim, 4 points for Vanessa, and 1 point for John. Puts us at 11. Only 4 points left on the board.
Let me think here. What about Charles Manson?
What about Charles Manson?
He's a bad guy in
Charles.
general.
Yeah.
Jim,
Huh.
that is in
Steal,
Oh,
steal,
dang.
steal, steal,
Steal.
steal, steal.
Johnny.
Khan from Wrath of Khan.
Good
Khan.
one.
Khan from Wrath of Khan is not on the board.
What?
Steal.
How
Steal.
dare they?
Steal.
Vanessa.
Biff Tannen.
Vanessa
That's a great one.
with the number 51
Oh.
Wow.
greatest movie villain, Biff Tannen. That's 5 points for
That was a
Vanessa.
squeaker.
Mm-hmm.
How many more do I have?
There's 3 points left on the board.
Okay. Let's go for villain. Think.
Not all of the villains do have names.
Do 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 do.
Oh, interesting.
Do 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 do.
Candyman.
Candyman. Vanessa, that is incorrect.
Steal.
No.
Oh, I think Jim got that.
I want to say Jack Torrance from The Shining.
Well, really, it's the hotel. I would say that's the villain of the
But
show.
he's like the personification of the evil of the hotel.
I believe that movie's called The Shinning,
The
and that is
Shining.
incorrect.
We don't wanna get sued.
Jim.
Steal.
Incorrect? Are you
Wow,
kidding?
Steal.
Johnny.
Yeah. The Alien Queen.
That doesn't count.
I will give that to you because the answer
What's
is
the
just
name of
the
the species?
aliens
At least
from
say it.
Alien.
The Xenomorph. Sorry.
On the
Thank
list,
you.
they simply refer to it as the alien from the Alien franchise.
Okay.
Coming in at
okay.
number 18. There are 2 points left on the board.
Okay, Predator.
Johnny with another good guess. That's
Mhm.
3 points for Johnny,
Oh, it was...
6 points for Jim,
Mhm.
and 5 points for Vanessa. Where does that put us? We should only have one left, right?
Yeah. Okay, so
5, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yes, one more.
Blofeld.
Blofeld. Actually, there are no Bond movies
Steal.
on this list.
Steal.
Vanessa
Steal.
got it first.
What was I going to say? It was going to be so good.
You were going to say Blofeld.
Beetlejuice.
Did you say
No way.
Beetlejuice?
That's not a villain.
I did. Yes, he is.
Vanessa, that is incorrect.
Steal.
Mhm.
What?
Jim.
Michael Myers.
Michael Myers is obviously on the list, yes. That is 1 more point for Jim. That gives us 5 points for Vanessa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points for Jim. And 3 points for Johnny, which gives us a total of... Hang on. Jesus, Johnny.
Diabetes.
4, 7, 11 points.
Bees.
For Jim.
From My Girl.
My Girl.
What'd you say?
Bees from My Girl.
Yeah.
Diabetes from that Julia Roberts movie where she
That's what
dies
I
from
already
diabetes.
said that.
Oh,
I already said that. I said,
All right, there's only one question left. The
Ferryman
current
from
standings.
Ghost Ship.
There's only one question left. The current standings. Vanessa is in last place with 9 points. Johnny is in second place with 10 points. Jim is in first place with 11 points.
Flying high right now.
What about Jack Rippener from Red Eye?
All right, now listen. I pulled this list from various sources. The criteria seems kind of
Thanos.
willy-nilly.
No one said Thanos.
So Thanos was on the list, yes.
Wow.
The criteria for this one seems kind of willy-nilly, but I took a large list and expanded it even further to give lots of options. So it's a real thinker. This is a list of the best gaming mascots.
Buzz.
Ooh, Buzz.
Vanessa.
Let's go with Crash Bandicoot.
That's 1 point for Vanessa.
And
Arrow the Acrobat.
Johnny, you're not supposed to be
You
guessing
can't-
it this time.
Hex the Gecko.
Yeah.
Jim, you're not supposed to be
Novolin.
guessing it
Or
this
Captain
time.
Novolin.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mute the two of you.
Sly Cooper.
Booger Man.
Vanessa, that is another point.
Woohoo! Star Fox.
Vanessa, Star Fox
It's
is
not a character.
not on the list.
It's not a character.
Oh.
Steel. Oh, yeah, I should have said Steel. Damn it.
Jim,
Sonic the Hedgehog.
that is 1 point for Jim.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I feel like Star Fox could have fit into this list, but he did
But
not
he's
appear on
Fox-
any of
Wow.
the...
He's not named Star Fox. It's Fox
His name is
McCloud.
Fox McCloud. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Hmm.
My next guess is going to be Nathan Drake.
Jim, that is an excellent guess.
Steal.
Nope, Jim got it.
What?
Yeah.
I said that it's a
mascot?
really stupid fucking list, okay?
Okay.
He's not a mascot.
Yeah,
I
he's a mascot.
legitimately, on each of the lists that I pulled these names from, I looked for them to give me some sort of definition of what they meant by mascot. Nobody did. But Nathan Drake's on there, so take that for what you will.
Halo.
My next
just a
guess
guy.
will be Mr. Halo or Master Chief.
Jim, that is one
Damn
more
it.
point.
Booger Man.
Pepsi Man.
Pepsi Man.
Steal.
Jim, Pepsi Man is not on the list.
Steal.
Johnny.
Steal.
Mario.
That's an obvious and good guess. That's 1
That
point for Johnny.
That should be an excluded answer, honestly.
Well,
Yeah.
no. The excluded answers are answers that have shown up a bunch when I've asked the same question. I've asked the best RPG of our time like 4 times. So at some point, we got to kick some of those numbers out.
Kirby.
Johnny. Kirby. That's 1 more point for Johnny.
Link.
That is another point for Johnny.
Zelda.
That is not another point for
What?
Johnny.
Steal.
Vanessa. Jim.
Pikachu.
We're in the steal part, not the buzz part. Also, I heard you both at the same time. Vanessa said Pikachu. That is 1 more point for Vanessa. We're at 9.
Woohoo!
6 more points on the board.
Samus.
Samus. That is 1 more point for Vanessa.
Vault Boy.
No,
You know what?
That's not his name.
That is the name
It
that
is
they
its
have
name.
him listed on
What? That is his name?
in
I thought
the
it was
list.
Oh no, Pip.
It is
You're
his
right.
name.
Pip Boy's the name of the machine, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
1 more
His name
point
is Vault
for
Boy,
Vanessa.
and he's the only
Aw.
actual mascot on this
I'm
list.
sorry for incorrectly mansplaining
Only
to you, Vanessa.
For
Yeah.
Mario's
Don't
definitely a
fall
mascot by
explain
any
to me.
definition. Mario's the
Master
literal
Chief.
mascot
I already
of
said that. Steel.
Vanessa, I'm afraid that Jim already said that and has now stolen the
No.
board.
Vivi.
Steal.
Jim, that is incorrect,
What
and
the
Johnny has
fuck?
stolen the board.
Yeah. All right, so we've got Sonic. We got Bubsy.
Bubsy, that's a great guess, Johnny, for 1 more point.
Oh, I was kind of surprised about that. I didn't think.
Yeah, me
There's only
too.
Same.
There's only 3 points left on the board, Johnny.
All right. Well, you got Did you already Pikachu? Did you guess Pikachu?
Yeah, Steel.
Johnny, Vanessa
Steel.
already guessed Pikachu.
I couldn't remember if
Jim,
she
that
actually
means
could guess it or
control
not.
of the board.
I would
I know
like to
she
say
tried.
Dane, or as you might know him, the Quiet Man.
Oh, steal.
That is incorrect, and Johnny has stolen the board.
All right. Moogles.
Moogles, that's a
Steal.
great guess, Johnny. So close. Vanessa,
Mog.
Steel.
not a great guess. Jim,
It is a great
Mog's
guess.
a better guess than Moogles. I gotta say.
Mog is a Moogle. If Mog was going to be on the board, it would just be as Moogle.
Yeah.
Jim,
Cloud
not.
Strife.
Jim, that's an excellent guess, and 1 more point for you.
All
2 points
right.
left on the board.
How many points are left?
2.
Oh, I know.
2.
One. I know.
Ash Ketchum.
Ash Ketchum, that's a good guess, but that is not on the board.
Steal.
Lame.
Vanessa.
Ah.
Echo the Dolphin.
Steal.
Vanessa, that is incorrect.
Wow.
Johnny.
Solid Snake.
Johnny, that's an excellent guess, and 1 more point. Only 1 point left on the board.
Sora.
Sora, that is incorrect.
Oh,
Steel.
Vanessa.
Rayman.
Ooh, also a great guess, Vanessa, but not on the
Steal.
No.
Johnny.
Banjo Kazooie or Banjo or Kazooie.
You know what, John?
Steal.
I'll just say
Steal.
Banjo. I'm being greedy. Banjo.
Banjo and Kazooie are not on the board.
Still. Leisure Suit Larry.
Oh my God.
Steal.
Johnny.
Still.
I'm not even dignifying that with a response.
A Loco Roco.
Still.
Vanessa.
Damn it.
Tom Nook.
Ooh, that's good.
Oh, that's a good guess,
Oh.
but he also is not
Ooh.
on the board.
Steal.
Survey says no. Johnny.
Parappa the Rapper.
Ooh, good
Perfect,
one.
Johnny. 1 more point for
Yay.
Johnny. I want to go ahead and give you a couple of these that you missed. Big Daddy is apparently a mascot. Kratos,
Oh.
Gordon Freeman, GLaDOS,
I was thinking they wouldn't do anything from
Freeman.
Half-Life.
Chocobo is a mascot.
That's not even a thing.
I thought
mean, it's a
about saying
thing.
it,
It's
but I was
not a
like, they wouldn't just
character.
say
Spyro,
Choco-
obviously. We
Yeah.
talked about Mr. Game & Watch earlier.
Oh, you're right.
Both Steve and the Creeper from Minecraft, Sans from Undertale, Shulk, Freddy Fazbear,
Shulk.
Abe from Abe's Odyssey,
Shulk?
and the most obvious one that I can't believe you all missed, he's a literal mascot, Monokuma.
Oh, Teddy.
Who's
What about
Monokuma?
Teddy? Did Teddy show up?
So Teddy did not make the list. I suspect that you have to be in more than one game to be on this list.
He's in Persona 4 Dancing All Night. He's in Persona
That's-
4 Arena.
It is 5 points for Vanessa.
He's in Persona
4
Q
points for
and
Jim.
Persona Q2.
5, 6 points for Johnny, which gives us a grand total of 14 points for Vanessa. 15 points for Jim.
Yeah!
And 16 points for Johnny.
Oh, man, that was a close one.
Smartest bear
yeah.
of all time. It's Teddy and also Johnny. That's my victory
All
song.
right. Well, that is Matt's stupid game. I never gave it its official name at the beginning of it. That is Game Facts Feud, a name
was a
that
fun
no
one.
longer really applies to what this game is about.
that was
Gave up
a
on
good one.
polls.
That was the
I
best.
enjoyed that
I think
game.
that's the best iteration of Matthew's stupid
Yay.
game for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Good. I'm glad that my
We
changes
finally
worked.
nailed down the
Yeah,
format.
it takes a while. It takes a while to nail
Good
down.
luck
the format.
finding more huge lists for us to guess off of. I do
Well,
like
so
the
for the
movie-oriented
mascot,
ones,
I actually
though.
had to pull off of I had to pull it from 4 different websites. Like I found a list of 20 and then I found a list of 10 and then I found a couple other lists and I was just like, well, who's not on my
Did
list
they have
already?
Boogerman
pulling
and
people
Arrow
in.
the Acrobat and
I was gonna say
Sparkster,
Booger Man.
Nope, no Boogerman, no Arrow, no whatever you just said.
Sparkster, Rocket Knight.
Next week it's going to be like
Was-
the Billboard Top 100 from 1982.
Was Gex on there?
Gex was on there, yes.
Wow.
Johnny threw it out as a joke guess, but never used it.
No, Jim did. That was Jim
I said that as a
Oh, maybe it
joke
was
guess.
Jim. What? Sorry, jeez.
We were all thrown out.
Did
joke
I talk
guesses.
about the Wham documentary last week?
Yes.
Yeah, you probably did.
Or you might have just
All right.
talked to me about it.
No. She definitely talked about it on
Okay.
the show, and we don't need to hear about it now because it's time for the Quest Log!
Jitterbug.
On an adventure, exciting adventure. So you remember last time where,
Not really.
well, we defeated that fake Dragon Master on the isle off of Lan in the swamps?
Mm-hmm.
The guy with the frog.
And we're like, well,
Yeah, I
we're going to go
remember
back
him.
and tell Galleon all about it.
Gavian.
So we head back to Vane, the floating city. I did talk to that guy. He's Eminem's guy. You know which guy I'm talking about. The one on right by that transfer station.
Oh, yeah. The guy who does the cultural references, and they're hilarious.
His latest reference was, "Ugh, my wife. Can you believe it? How do I get rid of that nagging? What do you call her? Like a nagging bit? Not a bitch. It was something like that, though." And I was like, I got to take a screenshot of this to show Vanessa.
Yeah, it was great. If I didn't love that guy already from his snappy references to Tootsie Rolls and M&M's, I sure do love him now.
Because
Best character in the game.
he
Put him on the top 100 mascots.
he loves his wife. And was it Jennings from the from our group chat, our Square Roots group chat, and the Square Roots Facebook group for smart, cool, very attractive
Mhm.
people, was like, oh man, because he works at a hotel, and so he has to deal with people, and he says he gets that, like, he has to laugh at that kind of joke 4 times a day about how a man's wife is a bitch,
No.
and he has to pretend it's funny every time.
I bet every time it's like some guy who wants something done for his room and he's just like, I'm fine with it, but the wife.
Yeah.
Or he's on business and he's like, oh, I'm just happy to get away from the wife for a weekend.
Now, admittedly, I am single, so you should not take romantic advice from me, but don't stay in a relationship with someone you don't like.
They do, though. They're just kidding. Cis men invented the institution of marriage, and all they do is bitch about it. Why did you invent it if you hate it so much?
You could just not, Just
How
don't.
do you know cis
don't have
men
to do it.
invented the institution of marriage?
They did.
Seems like a Vanessa fact. You know what I mean?
Oh, I thought you were going to play Vanessa for instance. Seems like something Vanessa would
for
do.
the invention of marriage.
So we get past that guy and his complaining about his wife. But yeah, just if you don't like the person you're with, you don't have to stay with them. It's not fair to either of you.
Oh, but what about for the kids' sake,
I think the
Johnny?
kids are going to be messed up by you two hating each other.
Sure.
Mhm. But that's just my hot take. For more hot takes, let's keep going. So we go back to Vane, And we can talk to a few people here. We tell Galleon all about it, and he's like, well, I guess, you know what? Let's go talk to Lemia and tell her the good news that this is not a real Dragon Master. And so we go to Lemia, and she's like, oh, really? Not a real Dragon Master. How about your plot to kill me and take over the Magic Guild and destroy the city of Vane? You're all terrorists. I'm going to detain you all. So, to jail with all of you. And Mia, for first, Nash says, don't talk to Mia. So Nal's like, let's go talk to Mia. And, because Nal really likes Mia. Nal has a...
Can I interrupt you for a second? I just gotta say, Mia's so hot. This game really wants you to think Mia is fucking hot.
Really? Between Jessica and Mia, you'd go for Mia? Seems like, I don't know.
Yeah, very plain character design, I think. But
I think that Jim is referring to the way this game discusses.
Yes, yeah. This game wants you to think Mia's super hot. Later in the game, after you beat the boss here, you can go into Mia's room, and if you interact with like her dresser, Luna will be like, Alex, are you fondling the contents of her dresser? Or like, and then you can interact with her bed, and she'll be like, I think there's something wrong with you. Why are you perving on Mia?
I did get a bromide of Luna with her skirt being blown up by air like a vent over a subway.
Like a Marilyn Monroe kind of thing?
Yeah, and all the apples were being blown off of her apple cart thing. And you could see her legs meeting together, but she was trying to hold down. It was like
is that the one that you get from Alex's parents' basement?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's definitely the Marilyn Monroe pose for sure. But she's holding a basket full of apples, and the apples are blowing everywhere, and she's got the anime blushing, and we go talk to Mia, and she's so jealous of us getting to go on adventures because she doesn't get to go anywhere because she's just kept up in this. She's not allowed to leave the guild, basically. But then after you get arrested, she does do a sneak. What I love is you keep hearing from this woman next door who looks exactly like the image of Lemia with a small mask over her eyes. And the whole game's like, who's this mysterious woman? I guess we'll never know. She does have that tiny mask over her eyes. And she's like, I'm Lemia. I'm the real Lemia. And everyone's like, oh, who could that crazy lady be with the mask? And... so she lets us out, and then she lets this lady out because she's like, oh, I wonder if we could figure out something. Oh, also, I have this mirror that reveals people's true form, just like in Dragon Quest. But let's not use it right now, even though it's obviously going to work on this woman who looks just like my mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's not take her helmet off.
No, tiny mask. She has a tiny mask.
Right. Better leave that on.
So then we climb up the tower, even though it's super forbidden to do so. Nash does not want Mia to do it, but Mia's like, well, look, I'm going. You can do whatever you want.
You have to unequip all your weapons to get into this tower.
Oh, yeah. It took me like 3 times to figure that out. Because it's like, oh, yeah, it's only magic in this. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I went in again. And then Nal was just like, look, just unequip your weapons, okay?
Yeah, but I had to unequip them and give them to Nal. Like, it wasn't enough just to unequip them.
I just had to unequip them.
Yeah, because we have that shared inventory, but Vanessa has the
yeah, that's right. Oh, I hated that about that version. Each character has their own little inventory.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
So we climb up the spire. We have to defeat some enemies using only magic. At least Alice can still do his he can punch people and do his all his special moves, which do show a sword in the PSP version. But hey, it's fine. It's fine. So you get all the way up and sneak into the star chamber, which no one's ever allowed to go into. And it's a big moment. You open up the star chamber, and Lemia is there with some other ladies. and Galleon, and they're like trying to make Luna sing. They're torturing Luna so she'll sing for them. And like,
Doesn't seem like they're torturing her so much as she's just singing.
well,
Yeah.
Galleon's like, sing for me, my angel of music. And she's going, was that note for note?
Well, later she describes
No.
it as she had to
No
sing
for no.
evil songs.
Yeah, she didn't want to sing those evil songs about the music of the night.
She's just singing the
whatever.
same song she always sings.
It was an evil song. She was singing Small Town. Try that in a small town.
So you barge in there, and then Mia's like, look, I know something's wrong with you, because my mother would, I don't know what you've done with my mother, but my mother would
truck
never
and
torture
Jesus.
an innocent woman. And
I'm driving Jesus in my truck to my small town where my truck lives.
there's nothing wrong with
I'm sorry, I
small
was
towns
singing
and
evil
trucks.
songs.
There's stuff wrong with mythologizing lynching by good old boys.
And every neighbor knew each other. And if you were a stranger, you had to be out of town by sunset. It's a sundown town.
Klaxon, going too far. So she pulls out her mirror of seeing the real things, and she's
I
like,
thought it
"Here,
was beautiful, Vanessa.
you're not my mother.
Thank you.
Let me use the mirror of seeing things." And Lemmy is like, What? This is fine. Nothing's wrong.
Yeah, it does
here."
nothing. Very strange.
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
And but then behind her, the mask has fallen off of the other woman, who is also Lamia. Shock.
Yeah, she's like, Mia, I know what's going on now.
Mm-hmm. And then
Why didn't they take the mask off her in the first place?
the other ladies, one of them's the lady
Maybe
from
they thought she liked it.
one of them's the lady from the shrine, the one who was running the shrine.
Yes, the one that Jessica said didn't actually
Oh, we haven't
belong at the shrine.
Yeah, I forgot to mention
Right.
that when you're leaving Lion, she's like, "There's no lady named that at the shrine. What are you talking about?" And we're like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
we met her."
Yeah.
It's funny because at first you think like, well, she's like a slack ass, like she doesn't know. But
Yeah.
then,
No.
and who's the other one? There's a third one.
I think the third.
The fortune teller.
Oh, yes, the fortune
that's
teller.
Right. That's right. So then, Lamia, the evil Lamia is like, okay, fine. I'm actually the super cool member of the Misfits from Jem and the Holograms. I'm Miraja. This is Raz, and I don't remember the names.
I don't remember their
Raj-
names either.
There's Raz and
They're truly
Dazzle.
outrageous.
No,
though.
no, the Jem's truly outrageous. The Misfits, their songs are better.
Jem wasn't outrageous. Jem was a square. The Misfits were outrageous.
The Misfits songs were better, though. That's a
Yeah.
fucking fact.
They were so much better. And the Misfits deserved to be bitter because Jem obviously was just selling more because of her carefully cultivated corporate pop star
her
image.
dad
And
being
auto-tune.
and her dad was the publisher.
Yes,
I mean,
and nepotism. That's a good point.
Nepotism.
Oh, right.
It's a nepo baby.
Nepotism and the fact that she had like sci-fi technology that auto-tuned the shit out of her voice. Pretty lame.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah. Anyway, so we now have the Misfits. They're my favorite group of evil ladies, pretty much since Grandia, which is
They're fun.
It's pretty much the same characters from Grandia because it's by the same
Pretty
team,
much.
right?
Yeah. Well, in
Those
Grandia,
evil-
they were on the same team. They were the Empire ladies, weren't they? Weren't they all?
Well, no. I
part of the
mean,
Empire?
it's the same developer that made this game that made Grandia.
Oh,
so they just
Oh,
like,
is it?
Yeah. So they just
Oh,
like
yeah, we looked at that.
teams of evil ladies is their deal, which I understand because they're pretty cool. And then Galleon's like, "What? You betrayed me?" And Lemmy is like, "But wait, you." And then he's like, "Oh no, we got betrayed!" And they disappear,
Yeah.
leaving 4 Ultra Goyles for us to fight.
Hey, this is a real easy fight.
Goyles?
So,
Yeah, Ultra Goyles.
It's kind of a boss fight, but it's more just a normal fight.
Yeah. You know what? None of us mind. There's
No, we don't
there's
mind.
a tough boss fight in this chunker, but this is not it. So we defeat the Ultra Goyles, and then Galleon's like, sorry, you know what? I was too trusting. I was a real dummy. I can't believe this happened. Sorry again. This means we all really need to go to the dragon. Quark, we have to go see Quark. Can you please take me to Quark in the Dragon's Cave? Because I need to be escorted by a couple kids, even though I've been there before. I know what this is all
I'm
about.
an adult.
Yeah. And he keeps saying, like, I can't wait to have a conversation with my old friend Quark.
Mhm. There's nothing ominous or
It's
foreshadowing.
going to be so good to see Quark, my old friend.
I love you,
we'll
Quark.
meet again.
That's what he says, because he's the Grand Nagus.
Mhm.
I think we made this joke before. It's not really a joke. It's more of a reference.
Yeah, we don't do
Females
reference
shouldn't wear
humor
clothing.
on this show, okay?
That's right.
Though to be fair, I am only here for the zip line.
Yeah, it's true.
I
So
didn't even get a laugh out of Jim for that one. Boy, I guess the days of I think you should leave jokes are over.
Listen,
Cat's
I'm
over.
a real fan. I have deep cut references.
Mhm.
Deep cut. I think you should leave references.
yeah, he's not that kind of sellout humor.
Yeah,
He wants him to do
I'm
the
a-
old stuff.
I'm a real driving crooner. People are always trying to make it look fake.
Anyway, so we then
This guy's greedy.
head back
Cash
to
grab.
Catch, grab.
Maribia, where we find out that Ramus has renovated the shop, and now it's wonderful.
It's full of bunny ladies.
It's
It's
Hang on.
awful.
full
Oh,
of
yeah.
bunny ladies.
Yeah.
So now
They're like, I wish you were on sale, green eyes.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's turned it into a Hooters.
Yep.
it is.
And
It's a
but now the
restaurant.
comment. Now the comment the guy made about making Ramus wear the bunny suit makes more sense, but it's still kind of creepy. I
Yeah, I
assume
didn't
we'll
put
find
that
Ramus's
together.
bromide somewhere in that guy's.
Yeah, you know
Pantry.
what? I'm not collecting these bromides. I'm on strike from bromides. I'm not doing it. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck the bathing scenes. Fuck all that shit.
The
What's
guy
wrong
that I
with
was
Poking around in
reading-
Mia's bedroom. How about I'm going to play the no pervy version of this game?
and
Not
that's
perving
impossible.
on children version of this game.
That's impossible. Sorry.
We haven't. Challenge level impossible for that run.
The guide I was reading recommended going into Ramus's shop. I think it mentioned it going a little bit after this, and buying these things like a reminiscer and
Yeah, that's after the shop gets
that's after the
attack.
invasion or whatever, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll come back to that because we also have to talk about the spring stuff. And then
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
talk about how Chris Hansen and Vanessa finally meet.
What? I didn't opt into that situation. It just happened to me. But we'll get to
Well,
it.
You
Situation
definitely took
seems
the
a
time to
little
screen cap it and share it multiple times in the group
pervy.
chat and on this video chat.
It's true. Anyway.
AKA, you took the time to commit a crime multiple times.
That's
Vanessa's
called distribution.
really, she's being so lit by her Dreamlight Valley screen right now.
She is.
I don't have anything to say on this subject. I don't feel that it's accurately representing
Mhm.
the situation. And when we get to it, I am going to explain myself
yeah,
in
that's
detail.
fine.
And
Why
I
don't
will
you explain
probably
yourself to Chris Hansen?
Yeah, because he's in
use some
jail. For,
illustration as well.
he's in
Have a
jail
seat.
for cashing some fraudulent checks.
Yeah, and that's why I
Why
can't
don't you
explain
it
myself
to
Chris
Hansen, the
Hansen.
band, and they'll be
Oh.
like, bop, Vanessa.
They'll be like, "Yeah, we were teenage stars. Let's talk
Are
about
they
it."
Canadian?
No, they're from like
I don't
Ohio
know.
or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't think anybody cares.
So
You know that one song
I
they
saw them
did
live.
called "Strange," and
Really?
it was like good.
Yeah, a festival thing.
were they good?
Honestly, yeah, I mean, they played fucking Mbop, which is the song everybody knew that nobody really liked, but
Mhm.
They're a bunch of
No.
kids.
I
The
love
Stranger's their
Are you
best
kidding
song.
me? That's a jam and a half.
Well, you were at the right age
You said
for
you
it.
listened to it at the gym once.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm lifting even harder now. Look at this, doubling my
But I
weight.
do remember specifically being like, you know what? Like, these kids are pretty talented. Like, they're fucking a bunch of children at this festival full of rock bands, like, holding their own.
One of them is like a reverend in like that quiverful religious sect or
Oh,
something.
no.
Yeah.
Gross.
They did give me like creepy Christian vibes.
Yeah.
Like,
one of them's definitely
I
like a
read- I
super
heard
religious
something-
reverend guy.
Yeah, why is it that Christians love exploiting their children?
Well, I think it was
Because
a new age band, and they're really popular in Germany. But have you seen them, Vanessa? Like, they all wear flowing white fabric. There's like 8 or 9 of them. They're all these like long-haired blonde kids, and they're like super popular.
No, I haven't seen these
And you
kids.
just get like, oh, these kids are in a bad situation vibes from that whole thing.
Somebody turned Chris Hansen onto that. I'm sure there's something
exactly.
going on there.
So,
Let me tell my story about the Hanson song "Strange."
oh yeah, sure, of course.
What is the name of the
I
song?
heard an interview.
Did you say strange?
I think she's got a little bit of strange.
I heard an interview with the guy who wrote it, and he wrote it about being a gay man, and then he had to change the lyrics a little bit to suit Hanson.
Well,
True story.
were they children at that point?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's bad they changed
Yeah,
it.
he just had to
I'm saying
change
it's
it. Yeah.
interesting.
I think being a fan of children is weird. Like, if you're a child doing something, that's great. But being a fan of a child, I think, is weird.
Yeah, unless you're a child.
I didn't say
If
he
you
was
are
a
a child,
fan.
like Jim, you were the right age to
Well,
be
of course.
thinking Hanson's cool because you were the same age as them.
Well, like, I like the
Remember-
song, but I'm not like, oh, I love the Hanson boys. Give me more of the Hanson boys.
Well,
I just like that song.
Jim was reading all about them in his issue of Tiger Beat.
Yeah.
The first
One time,
the first
Johnny-
tape I ever got was an NSYNC tape.
Wow. The first tape I ever got was the Simpsons soundtrack.
Mine was
Oh, wow.
Corey
Oh,
Hart.
I'm sorry, the Simpsons Sing the Blues.
I got Corey Hart.
That might be
The
a
first
lie,
CD
actually. It
I
might be
ever
the
got
Teenage Mutant
was-
Ninja Turtle soundtrack, or maybe a Weird
Ooh.
Al album.
The first CD I ever got was Astro Lounge by Smash Mouth with All Star on it.
Oh, that's a great album.
I-
The first CD I ever bought was Smashing Pumpkins' Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness.
That's
First
a good
CD I ever
album.
got.
that can't be
I
your
stand by
first
that.
CD. What are you talking
I
about?
got Thriller
Huh?
on CD. My dad got me Thriller. That's a great,
Wow.
that's a great album. Not so much now, but that's
I got Weezer.
Speaking of Chris Hansen,
yeah. All right.
Was that
Moving
good
on.
Weezer or bad Weezer? Like Weezer Blue album or like Weezer Green album?
One time, Johnny.
You gonna answer
Came
my
at
question,
me
or are you too busy
for-
playing Disney Dreamlight Valley?
I'm too busy playing Disney Dreamlight Valley, and I don't remember. It was the one with the sweater song.
That's the Blue album.
that is a
That's
blue
a
album.
good one.
I like the Ratitude album. I know a lot of people don't like it, but Ratitude's got some hits on it.
I like
I
that
like Pinkerton.
Island in the Sun. I like Keep
Ugh.
Fishing is a good song.
Ugh.
Yeah, Keep Fishing is a
We're
good
all
song.
on drugs.
I
is a
do
good
like
song.
that Teal album though. That's a good one.
Which one had
Yeah.
We Are All on Drugs?
Oh, that's a great song. I haven't heard that song in a long time.
It's a good song.
I recently rediscovered the song If You're Wondering If I Want You To, I Want You To, the song off Ratitude that sounds like it could play on like a high school movie. Oh, it's such a good song. You guys should look it up.
So Vanessa, what were you
probably
saying
did.
about no,
Disney
not
Dreamlight Valley.
No, she was saying something else about Weezer.
No, it was about you,
Oh,
Johnny.
what did I do?
And what you did to me.
Oh.
Speaking of being fans of children.
Share naked
One
images of
time
17-year-old
you
boys.
tried-
No, that's what Vanessa
No.
did.
He tried to call me out for having a crush on Joseph Gordon-Levitt when he was on 30 Rock, and he's like, Vanessa, that's horribly inappropriate. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is older than I am.
Wait, are you talking about
I
the
was
third
Okay,
allowed
but were
to
you
have
an
a
Wait,
adult
crush on
when
him.
you
Hold
had the
on.
crush? Is the question.
Hold
No,
on, dude, are you
I'm
saying-
talking about when it aired.
Was he on 30 Rock or Third Rock?
No, I'm sorry, Third Rock.
Thank
You're
you.
correct.
I mean, I was really into Claire Danes, but I think I'm younger than she is. I
That
definitely
act-
was younger than she was
that-
when My So Called Life was coming out.
I had a crush on the lady on Third Rock. blonde
Kristen
lady?
Johnson.
Yeah.
She's great.
Kristen Johnson's great.
Yeah.
She is
But she's
great.
Canadian and like a radical Republican, hardcore Christian.
Oh, no. Is she a right-wing person? That
I don't
sucks.
think so.
I don't know.
I don't
I'm just
think so at
guessing.
all.
I don't think so. Well, I don't know. though.
C-list actors tend to be, you know.
Well, you know.
Well, it's
that-
an easy way to get online impressions is by saying something controversial and shitty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I also had to crush on Salem the cat in Sabrina the Teenage
Yeah,
Witch.
I mean,
Oh, Vanessa's just come out of the closet as a furry.
I was weirdly attracted to what's the name of the big Muppet? Snuggles? No.
Sweetums.
Yeah. It was like a kid attraction. It wasn't like a sexual attraction.
Yeah. Salem's totally my type. He's evil and he's trying to take over the
And
world.
Sweetums is
I mean, come on.
big and dumb.
Yeah. These early things, you know, they form us so much.
It's true. It's true. And Dom DeLuise, but that makes more sense.
No, that doesn't make any sort of sense. Tom DeLuise is not an attractive man
You
by
shut
any
your
standards.
mouth. He is a sweetheart.
Okay, like I get your Zangief crush. Like I get that, you know. But Tom DeLuise, give me a fucking
He
break.
was adorable. Anyway, so moving on, we
I like the idea of 11-year-old Johnny being like, that paunchy 40-year-old bald man. This is very attractive.
I'm sorry.
That's for me.
You know, I was watching TV bloopers and practical jokes and those Ziploc commercials like, why do I love him so much? I just thought he was super cool. You know, it was a kid crush.
All right.
Anyway, so moving on, we are going to talk about going to Maribia. We did that. Then we met up with Master Mel. Everyone's excited to have Galian and Master Mel there. And then Jessica was there too. And she's like, I don't know you guys. It's so nice to meet you for the first time.
That is fun. It's
Yeah.
Null that keeps fucking it up. He's like,
Yeah.
what are you talking
Yeah.
about? Thankfully, nobody listens to the cat, which, you
Yes.
know what? That makes sense to me.
No
Why would you
one
listen to the cat?
listens to the flying cat who is about to ruin everything. Then you go back to her room and she's like, okay, let me explain. So I'm like,
Yeah, you do.
Dad thinks I'm a super perfect princess, but I'm more of a tomboy like he is. And he thinks that I'm just like my late mother and I don't want to disappoint him by being more like him. And I thought that was a sweet dynamic. So then the next day, you all take a nap in
If we
her
posted
room.
this to our relationship advice, that would be like, go no contact with your father.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's problematic.
the internet seems to want you to abandon your family so fast.
Yeah.
Mild
He's trying to wifify you.
mild interpersonal conflict, cut them out.
Yeah.
Voted for the wrong person. Never speak to them again.
Mm-hmm.
They say that actually the best way to de-radicalize people is to have their family members approach them. It has to be someone they already have a relationship with.
Yeah.
So do speak to them again.
I have heard that, and also it's not going to happen in one thing. Like, you
Yeah.
have to be very patient. I just don't talk about politics with my family. I mean, what else can you do?
Yeah.
It's life.
Yeah.
My family, I love them.
Yeah. So we
No
Matthew,
contact.
Twitter told you can't talk to your family anymore.
Yeah. I have to cut out my family, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you want to do? Make Twitter upset?
I've never spent
Don't
more
trigger
than an
Twitter.
hour on Twitter, so I couldn't say.
I've spent less and less time there. It's awful.
Yeah.
I've been real hooked on this Blue Sky when they're not pitching a community-wide fit about something.
Yeah, they do.
Justified
They
Yeah,
fits.
find us on Blue Sky.
Justified fits, but
Yeah.
I do like Blue Sky.
Yeah, I've been using that a bit more. It doesn't recommend right now. Trending in Canada is leave our children alone, which is saying gays are just about your kids. Frankly, fuck your kids. I don't care about your kids. I don't want anything to do with it.
Nobody cares about your kids. Hey, nobody cares about anybody else's kids.
Hey, speaking of terrible music, did you guys see the Marjorie Taylor Greene rap song?
No.
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 Oh, you know what? I saw an
You know
article
that
about
you
it.
know that right-wing rapper guy who's like rapping about Donald Trump and how terrible Target is for you
Isn't
guys
his
know who
name
I'm talking
like
about?
Pure Cocaine?
I don't know his name,
I
but
think it is.
he made a song talking about how Marjorie Taylor Greene is like this child protecting warrior, and Marjorie Taylor Greene's in the video just like awkwardly nodding. It's very stupid.
Marjorie Taylor Greene sent like an email blast to all people subscribed to her email list with a link to pictures of nude Hunter Biden.
Huh.
And there was no filter for whether or not children were receiving that email.
Wow.
He's
Why
pretty
would
cool.
children be
So that's how she's
on
protecting
Marjorie
children.
Taylor Greene's email list?
I'm not on her email list. I read about it.
That's not what
Pretty
Matthew
good.
said.
That's a pretty good friendship filter. Like, just ask someone, are you on Marjorie Taylor Greene's email list? And if they say yes, immediately disassociate with them.
No, but Matthew's asking, is any child on her email list? Probably not. They're voting.
I bet there
people.
are. There are little brainwashed kids who probably signed up for Marjorie Taylor Greene's email blasts.
I do think Hunter Biden's a weakness for Biden, but that's not his fault. It's just he's got a screw up kid, and it happens. I don't think it's the major weakness.
He's very graceful about it when people ask him.
Yeah.
Really, the only response to questions about his son is, "I'm very proud of my son," which is like a great way to just get beyond that.
Yeah.
Well, what else is he gonna say?
Yeah.
He loves his son.
Yeah.
What do
Yeah.
you want?
Yeah. Anyway. So, we then set off on a ship. We get Master Mel's ship this time. He's hired a ship to take us all the way to the continent that Berg is on. I always forget what it's called. It doesn't matter. So we get there, and immediately I went to the Dragon Cave because Galen's like, all right, let's go to the Dragon Cave. That's where we have to go right now. It's, more important than ever that we get there. So I went there, and then Nala's like, oh, we should probably go talk to your parents first. Okay. So I went back and talked with the parents, and Galleon was like, oh, what a wonderful rustic hovel. It's so wonderful.
I love it here.
Did you go up and look at Dine's monument? He's like, what
Yes, I did.
What's the point of a worthless tribute to a dead man?
Yeah.
Get over it. Hashtag. That's not how hashtags work, Galleon. I don't use your Twitters.
And why are you saying hashtag?
Well, it's a bit.
I'm a good guy.
I'm very good. And some kid runs up. He's like,
We're just innocent men, is what he says.
Yeah, a little kid runs up to him in the town, and she's like, "Oh, it's so nice to meet a man like you. Could I please say hi?" And he's like, "Oh, what an insolent little brat."
Yeah.
Chill.
Good guy stuff.
So we go back to the spring, and Luna remembers how their voyage started out. I guess it's been a few months. We've already missed the festival and everything.
Yeah, she didn't get to sing.
Aww. But that's okay. And we now go to the Dragon Cave, finally. And we meet up with Quark, and Quark is excited to see Alex again. It's like, then Quark is like, hey, it's cool to see you again, Galleon. It's been so long. He's like, yes, Quark, yes. And I'm so happy to be here in my true form. Oh, no. Does he turn? Yeah, he turns into the thing first.
He turns into like Mecha Galleon.
Yeah.
It's really fucking, it's really funny.
He's like, check it out. And basically puts on a suit of armor, I guess.
He looks like a Power Ranger villain. It's pretty great, actually. I kind of loved
It's pretty
it.
cool.
And then
He looks like a Darth Vader kind of thing.
He steals Quark's essence and shrinks him down to a little pea in his hand.
Well, he's like, I'm going to enslave you, Quark. And I thought, oh, he's going to turn him evil and he's going to have a cool dragon sidekick. No, he turns him into a little bead and puts him in his pocket.
Yeah.
And he reveals himself as the Magic Emperor.
Magic Emperor.
To the shock of no one.
What?
My only question is this actually Galleon? Because I think it is. I think that maybe he's just turned evil, but I'm not sure.
I mean,
I
who
think it is
knows?
actually Galleon.
I can't say either way because I've played this game before.
Oh, yeah.
Jim, what do you think? Is or is not Galleon?
It is.
Mm.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, now I'm going to be Magic Emperor. I'm taking you with me, Luna. Y'all. Oh, I liked the ominous question he asked Alex as they were boarding the boat. He's like, so Alex, if you could save the woman you love but sacrifice everything else, would you do it? And Alex is like, I don't know. That's a weird question, man.
Yeah. Why are you asking me? Alex doesn't seem to have any convictions at all most of the time. And everyone sort of talks about how he wants to be a dragon master. And he's always wanted to be a dragon master. But Alex expresses very little interest in actually having the burdens of a
Well, he doesn't have
dragon
that.
master.
He's not a silent protagonist, but he doesn't talk that much. So you don't really get his inner dialogue, really. You get a bit more during the sculpting scene, which I really liked. That was fun.
That was fun.
Alex's
That
most
whole- the
common
whole spire
response
was
to a
fun.
question. Alex's most common response to a question is ...
Mm-hmm.
And then
Pretty cool.
Null answers for him. And I wouldn't let
Yeah.
Null answer for me because Null is an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's a cat.
He has a brain the size of a walnut. What
Cats
do
are
you want?
morons.
That little
That's
guy
true.
gonna be a freaking
Yeah.
dragon. We all know he's a dragon. Let's
Yeah,
let
we all
him be
know
a
it.
dragon.
What are you talking about, Jim?
We'll get there.
He's not a dragon. He's a kitty cat.
He's a cute floating kitty cat. You're thinking of the
I
cat.
don't.
He's a
I
pretty
like
little
Null.
kitty.
I think he's a fun little mascot sidekick character.
Me too. I always like the little sidekick characters.
Who was the one in Grandia that I fucking hated?
Puff Puff?
Pashul.
Puff
Puff.
Pashul was from Chrono Cross.
Yeah.
That's right.
My favorite mascot is Nathan Drake.
Yeah. Oh, look, you got a little Nathan Drake with you. I'm helping. I'm Nathan Drake.
Isn't he adorable?
I'm going to kill 300 henchmen now. Bang, bang, bang. Anyway,
I can hang off a cliff for hours.
he's got very strong forearm grip strength.
He has amazing grip strength. He would do so well on Ninja Warrior. He should really put his effort into
Or
this.
American Gladiators. I watched that American Gladiators documentary last week. That's
Did
a,
you find
I
out all
haven't
the
heard about
secrets
that.
about Laser and Turbo?
there's a lot of stuff about Laser and Nitro and Ice. Ice seems like a genuinely cool person. I like her. I'm an Ice fan now.
I watched that show once or twice, but I thought it was boring. It wasn't even as good as wrestling.
I didn't watch it a lot.
American
when I was younger.
Gladiators. I
Yeah.
fucking loved that show when I was a kid. It was mostly because I wanted to go to there and play on those things, you know? Like, I want to
Yeah.
shoot tennis balls at people.
Yeah,
I
and have
wanted to
those
do
little
the
joust
gun
with my
thing, man. That looked
friends.
dope.
I wanted that double. What do you call that? The thing, the
Oh,
stick with
the like thing you have to crank and it moves you
No,
along. You're like hanging from
no.
it.
the two stick, or the stick with the little
Oh,
spongy
the
thing
like
on either.
jousting thing. I can't remember what it's
Yeah.
called.
Jousting
They
thing.
look like big
Yeah.
cotton swabs they're smacking
Yeah.
each other with.
I
Yeah.
like those.
I mean, the
That's
show wasn't good, but I loved the I've always loved like obstacle courses and stuff. I think most people do. Like,
There's
it's
a
fun
lot in
thing.
the documentary about how dangerous the first season of that show was, and how there was no padding on the floor; it was all
Oh,
concrete. And, like there were no medical staff on hand the first season. Yeah.
That's not super surprising, but
One guy,
wow.
No, it's not.
the big blonde surfer character guy, like had to quit because he injured himself so badly. He got a concussion, and the doctor was like, "If this happens again, you could die."
Oh wow. He didn't
Interesting.
sue.
It's on Netflix. Check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, that does. The only thing I really remember about American Gladiators was how Milhouse's mom divorced his dad and then started dating an American Gladiator in The
Yeah,
Simpsons.
I think it was Nitro, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's Laser or Nitro is one of those two. Or maybe maybe they made up one. I think his name was Turbo.
Yeah, there is a Turbo, I think.
So, back to...
Laser.
Is that who?
There was always a laser.
Yeah. So we head back to, or well, I guess he gets Luna gets kidnapped by Galen's magic. Alex gets knocked out, and so does poor little Nall. You see Nall like curled up in a little sleepy ball. And they wake up. Alex wakes up in his bed. Him and Nall are very confused, and they step outside, and Alex's dad's like, "Oh yeah, your mother's friend Dine is here again." Not Dine, sorry. Your mother's friend Laika? Your mother's friend Laika is here again, and yeah, they spent some time together.
That guy from the woods.
Yeah, the guy from the woods. Guy.
Somebody call Chris Hansen on this guy. He's always swiping at these kids in the woods.
Yeah.
I think that this is the real Dragon Master Dine, FYI.
Dragon Master Dine is
this
dead.
guy? No way.
Laika? Yeah. I think that Laika is Dine.
Dead.
He died 15 years ago. They say it a lot.
He's like, do you know how Dragon Master Dine actually died? And then he tells us that it was by like love because he tried to protect a woman and couldn't. And he never actually tells us how he died. And I think this is Dine.
What?
Dine's dead.
Okay,
I saw
Johnny,
his
I haven't
grave.
played the game, but I have my own theories, okay?
So, this big burly man who he scoops you up and saves you, and then takes your mom out for dinner while your dad's there with the Nintendo Switch that he bought him.
Look, the dad's fine with it
exactly.
as long as the mom comes home and tells him about her evening later.
Yeah, tell me all about it. And I've been too addicted to doing my pervy voice lately. I don't know. You ever get an impression that you just can't stop doing? I just like doing my like gross pervy man voice, like, tell me all about it. You know? It's kind of...
Did someone say an impression you can't stop doing?
Oh, God. We've put baby Fresh Eyes to bed. So we then get... at this point, he's like, "Oh, you should take these little dragon wings trinket. You might figure out something cool. Maybe that'll help you figure things out." Because you meet him he's standing by Dine's grave, and like he's like, "Yeah,
he's standing by Dine's grave because Dine is dead."
And he talks about how Dine died, and then he gives you this trinket. Which you can use right away, or you can go to Alex's basement and find the bromide of Luna getting her dress blown up by that.
No.
I didn't find it. I'm
mischievous
so disappointed.
No.
Yeah, I think you can go back and grab it. You probably haven't missed it.
Why?
Forever.
Why would you want to do that?
Vanessa's a completionist. She's 100%.
So you could look at it. Yeah.
So then,
look at it.
you can. You should probably go back to Vane. But I went back
The
to
guide that I'm using definitely tries to push you towards all of these things, but is always like, "You're gonna want this." Wink, and I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
At least some of them are dudes. You know, at least some of them are dudes. That's all I got to say on
The
that.
fuck do I care?
So-
Either way, I don't need
Yeah,
sexy
that's true.
shots of these children. Thank you. I'm good.
So there's you teleport over to Maribia, and Jessica is there fighting a bunch of beasts and getting real mad, and you help her out, and she joins your crew. You can check in on Ramus, and he's like, "Isn't war profiteering or any kind of profiteering from a crisis great? Because like everyone's hiding in this thing." And he's like, "Well, this is the best time to own keep a store like this open because people desperately need your supplies, so you could jack up your prices. You're gonna find yourself like strung up dead on the side of a building if you keep doing that kind of shit, Ramus. People do not like it. Not in my small town." Oh, no.
Try that in a small town. We got guillotines in a small town.
So,
We're gonna kill the aristocracy in a small town. The bourgeoisie will rise.
oh, did you talk to, when you were back in Berg, did you talk to Ramus's parents? Because they were just like, the dad was like, "Oh, he's got some store selling crap people don't need. Well, he should come back here instead of, he's gonna fail. You'll see, he'll come back crying and just fail like he always does." I'm like, Jesus, yikes.
Yeah, and you could be like, "No, he's doing really well." Sure he is. he's doing really well at snacking.
Oh, at least the mom's like, I'm just really proud of him. I'm glad he's doing this. But yeah, that dad is, yikes. Yikes,
Yeah,
likes.
Rama should go no contact with him.
Yeah, exactly. Twitter would be
he
like...
kind of has.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, he kind of has.
He's like, just tell my dad how great I'm doing.
I thought the best conversation was with Alex's parents, where you can talk to them about Luna. And I think his dad says, I've really watched you grow up with Luna and your friendship blossom into love.
Yeah, that was weird. He's like, hey, glad we raised you together so you can fall in love with your sister. Have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm super into it.
Yeah.
That's what we adopted her for. Didn't take her in out of the kindness of our heart.
Tell me more about how you love her.
And we have watched that bond turn from a friendship into love.
Aww.
So if there was any question about whether or not this was a brother-sister love story, that's out the window. That's what it is.
Yep.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best RPGs of all time.
No, one of the best RPG stories of all time. And really, that story is the part, you really get into. No, tell me more.
I actually do like the story so far in this game, though. Like, you got the kid, he wants to go on the quest, he's going to be the boy, he's going to be the guy, and there's been some twists, and
It
Getting
cares about
more interesting as it
characters.
goes.
Yeah, and I like that it cares about the characters. Like, you get scenes about Jessica and why she's being the way she is, and Ramus and his shitty parents, and I don't know.
Yeah, I
That's
think
true.
definitely
There is
all the
character
party
development.
members are very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to get lost in the weeds of perving on children because I'm not here for that shit. And the
We've
brother-sister love
established that
story
they're all
is-
18.
No, that's not true. That's not established. In fact, that's the opposite of what's been established, which is that they are all under 18. Mm-hmm. And you should stop sending us nudes. I don't want to go to jail.
So,
And she's adopted, so it's fine.
yeah, they won't.
Legally, you're allowed to marry your adopted sister.
Wait, really?
I think so.
Ugh.
I don't see why you wouldn't. I think
It
it's
seems
only
like
blood relations you're not allowed to marry.
Just seems like a bad idea.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, for
Yes, it does
sure.
seem like a bad idea.
I guess all those documentaries Jim sends us about the stepmoms and their stepsons, that makes sense.
I
Documentaries.
saw a horrible one that Jim sent where this woman had gotten stuck in a washing machine. It was
What?
terrible.
Yeah, it's very
The only way
harrowing
for
when
her
that
stepson
happens.
to get her out was to plow her.
What are you talking about?
There's a whole genre of porn of women getting stuck under beds and in washing machines, and the only way to free
What?
them is to have sex with them.
What?
It's always your stepmom or your stepsister.
Wow.
The internet's gotten the porn internet has gotten real gross over the last few years.
All I can think about is like when Winnie the Pooh ate too much honey and got stuck in that hole.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh's stuck in that hole. He's so stuck in there because he ate so much honey.
I can't stop doing that voice. It controls me now.
All right.
All right.
Well-
we're being goofs today. We're having a goof day.
Oh, we're just a bunch of goofballs. Talking
Well,
about,
it's a
you know,
Matt
child
edit
pornography.
episode, which means that we're going to record for 4.5 fucking
Well,
hours.
there's not that much more. I think
Just
we
a little
got
bit.
past all the betrayals. So we fight our way through Maribia. We get to Jessica joins the party again. And
Thank God.
yeah.
Trying to make me play this game without a fucking
We should
healer. Give me a
mention
break.
Nash and Mia stayed in the Magic Guild when we left.
Yeah, Mia's the head of the Magic Guild now because her mom still has amnesia
Yeah, she doesn't-
and can't use magic.
Yeah,
Well, she's like sick or something. Like she's fucked up.
Yeah, I think the mask had like lingering side effects.
Yeah.
and Mia's trying to figure out how to fix it.
So now the game is teleport somewhere new, or rather somewhere we've been before, and then have to fight through fucking town. It's great.
So we get inside and find everyone's like, "Oh, go help Master Mel. He's fighting Zenobia, who I think shows up in Xenoblade Chronicles. I don't know if that's a name from something else.
Just because they have the same name does not mean that they're the same person.
Is Zenobia like a reference to something? They look identical too. That's the weird part. But I don't think it's the same characters. It's weird. Anyway, so
It's not the same developer, so it can't be.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. So you go to the dojo, and Master Mel is fighting, and Jessica shows up, and he's like, "No, don't intrude." And Jessica's like, "I can intrude too. I'm going to help you." And then was it the fake Lamia or Zenobia or whoever is like, "Well, I'm going to shoot you with this petrification beam." And Master Mel knocks his daughter out of the way and becomes a hot statue.
He's so hard.
Mm-hmm.
I hate this. I was really excited about Master Mel joining my party.
Me too.
But now he's just a statue and he can't say anything. You can just have him.
You can do whatever you want.
Exactly.
Maybe he'll get stuck in a washing machine like this.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe I'll just put this statue in this washing machine, put it on the spin cycle, see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
This would break, Vanessa. That would be terrible.
Well, someone talks about chipping pieces off of him, and Jessica gets real mad if you talk to one of the civilians.
I missed that. That's awful.
So he gets
Yeah,
petrified.
maybe you could sell those for a tidy profit.
The ladies zap their way out of there, so you don't get to
I
fight
did.
them.
I'm sorry. Hang on. I did like how when Master Mel gets turned into a statue, Jessica keeps trying to cure the curse, and it's just like it just plays that same little music again and again, or like sound bite of like. It's great.
I like that when it doesn't work, she's like, "Guess the only way to do it is to kill that lady."
Yes, and I like that as well, to be honest with you. I loved that. She's like, well, I guess we gotta hunt this bee down and cut her fucking head off.
Yeah, we're gonna slit her throat. Y'all in?
Yeah, I'm
Everyone's
down.
like, yeah.
Well,
Slit
here's
her
the thing.
Slit
I don't
her
think we've
throat.
really talked about it, but we have come to understand that these three women are from the Vile tribe, and that Galleon is the leader of the Vile tribe. Have we talked about the Vile tribe?
Not really.
They're
Not
a
really.
trio of hot witches.
But
Well,
there's-
no, are they a race? Are they a species?
I don't exactly
They're
know.
not a species.
It does. Well, you know how. Okay. I don't know if I should go on. This is going on about a thing I don't have full knowledge of. But like, you know how in Okami there's the evil tribe, and you had to defeat, and the heroic tribe genocided them, and now Japan is clean. And I feel like it's that kind of.
Yeah, no, I agree.
that
So
kind of
we
story.
learned that Althena,
Yeah, Althena.
the goddess of this world, banished the Vile tribe to the edges of the world.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like Althena's a bad guy, and these people have a point.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
It's not great. So these guys are members. These ladies are members of the Vile tribe, and Galleon, as the Magic Emperor, is their leader.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna exterminate this race, I guess. Actually, it's not a good look.
It might get more complicated than that. I don't know. It's been so long.
I hope so. I hope that
Yeah.
we meet members of the Vile tribe. I think that I'm assuming we will, because I
Yeah.
can't imagine that they're gonna do the evil race thing. I think they're gonna do. I think when we finally get out there, we're gonna realize that these people are like suffering and living in poverty.
Yeah. It'll be like a Final Fantasy 13 situation. Spoiler for Final Fantasy 13.
I don't know what that means because I only played like 5 hours of that game because it was trash.
It's good.
Yeah, it's great.
Excuse
We're going to play it for the show. You'll love it.
Wait, which game?
I don't want to play that racist ass game.
It's
Okay,
a good game.
Final Fantasy 13. You're going to love it. You're going to love a character named Hope.
my favorite character is going to
Best
be
Final
the
Fantasy
one
character.
black man in a Final Fantasy game who has a chicken in his afro, and it's not racist at all.
Well, he's not the one black man. Oh, he's the one black man in that Final Fantasy game. Yes. Well, I mean,
He's
Is it
the
a
one
chicken
black
or
man
is it a
in
chocobo?
any Final Fantasy
okay.
game.
Barrett says hello.
Barrett.
Oh yeah, sorry. You know what?
on.
I'm dumb.
Yeah. There's at least 3. Anyways.
Final Fantasy's great about representation.
Weirdly,
Sorry.
Bravely Default's much better about it. I don't know.
Was that weird? It's released much, much later. Conceived much, much later.
Yeah, but so is Final Fantasy 16, and they're like, oh, it'd be unrealistic to have black people. I'm like, fuck you.
That didn't really. They didn't say
Yeah,
that.
they 100% did.
No.
Yes, they
I'm going to go on the
That's what
record
they
and
always
say
say about
the plot of Final Fantasy
fantasies.
16. I'm not going to give you spoilers. The plot of Final Fantasy 16 that has
You
to do
are.
with all the
You
kingdom
are.
stuff.
Every
No,
time
Yeah,
you
no,
I'm not
shut
going
up,
to.
shut up,
I just
shut
want
up,
to say the
shut
plot
up.
is boring.
No.
I'll say whatever the fuck I want on this show.
Damn it, I'm not the host, so I
Jim,
can't
you
kick
sh-
Jim
you-
out of
you
the
should've-
call, but I tried.
You should have done the pause before saying fuck to really show that you're being bad by saying it. I'm going to say, and kind of say it quietly, I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What a badass.
So we
Me.
then, so Mel is a statue now. Jessica is going to come with us to figure out how to, I guess, slit the throat of Zenobia and get him back. And we then need to go and find out more about the Vile Tribe, as well as do the rest of the dragon trials that we have to do.
Yeah, we'll never defeat the evil emperor if we're not the dragon master, so we have to do the dragon trials.
They do tell us, like, since you're the only person that met Quark and nobody else can do that now, you're literally the only viable candidate at this point. You
Yeah.
have to do it.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of a fun twist from, like, everybody being like, well, you can't possibly do this, you stupid little shit.
Yeah, why don't you join magic school instead?
So we go to Vane. We see that Nash and Mia
You're
are
so
fighting.
vain.
Is this the last real boss of the Chunker? Is this
I think the
dragon
rest are mini
thing?
bosses, yeah.
It's the last
Yeah.
real boss fight of the game.
Yeah. So you fight this.
I
this
wish.
thing, and with
Hey, let's not
Yeah.
Wait, is this where we're at the mountain pass? Is
It's
that what you're
right
talking
before
No, we're
this.
at Vane.
yeah, right before the mountain pass. So
We
we
teleport back
Okay.
to Vane to talk to Mia's mother about what
Right.
happened. I actually liked this because you leave Maribia and you literally teleport to Vane. And as soon as you walk up, you see Nash and Mia, and they're like, "Oh, we know everything that happened."
Yeah,
Like, how? How do you know this?
we've heard.
They're
We've
magic.
heard everything.
Well, you've been in a coma for 2 weeks or whatever. your
Yeah,
parents
that's
said.
true. And I do like that this game, time passes. It's not like other games where it seems like everything happens in 24 hours. This game's like, no, it's been months since you left. Things have happened. Time has moved. And I think that's a neat detail. So we go to Vane. We help out Nash and Mia fight this big monster. This monster is kind of fun. It took a while. It has all these little eyes that turn colors, which is going to show what kind of attack it does. And you can use Mia's Mist Limit Break to reduce damage, which is useful. Basically, it stops you taking damage for a while.
That's cool.
I don't have any limit breaks.
I know. I'm sorry. After you defeat that monster, then you can head inside the Magic Guild and you talk to Lemia, and she's getting better. She's remembering some things, but Mia has to go with you.
I'm getting better.
And once again, Nash is like, Mia, you have to stay here. You're too perfect and porcelain, precious, breakable doll to go on an adventure. She's like, no, I'm going. And you can come if you want, but I'm going. And he's like, oh, I'll come too. Because he has the hots for Mia. Je danse la Mia. That's a Mia joke.
You know, they treat Nash like an asshole, but it's cute. I mean, he's a kid. He's got a crush.
So we know that the red dragon lives in the volcano south of Nanza Pass. So we head to Nanza Pass, where we we do run into a cutscene that shows maybe a different side of Kyle than just being a drunk. He also likes to
Well,
show his feminine side.
we don't know what we're seeing at
All right.
first.
You do see a pretty lady.
We see a pretty lady.
She's like, I'm
she
the
has-
best singer in all of Nanza.
She has a porcelain white face. She has
But very
pink
tan
cheeks,
arms.
very tan arm, muscular arms,
Very round breasts.
and very round breasts, and
I didn't notice that
very
because I'm
long-
a gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
long eyelashes, blue eyeshadow,
Mm-hmm.
red lips,
Mm-hmm. Red cheeks.
and and she shouts, "Oh, no, no, no! Get those beastie paws off me! Won't somebody come to my rescue?"
Mm-hmm.
And then it cuts to one of their anime cut scenes, and we see her beauty even more clearly. She flatters her eyelashes and says, "Haven't you ruffians learned how to keep your filthy mitts off an honest woman?" And suggests that maybe someone should teach them a lesson, and then I guess she just wipes her makeup off with
Immediately.
one sweep of her forearm.
Yep.
Yep.
And her robe, and it's Kyle.
And everything else. It's Kyle.
Everyone loves Kyle. And Kyle is fighting 4 of these very beefy boys. And I'm like, oh, tell me more about these beefy Vile tribe members.
Is
And he
Kyle
powers-
like the worst name for an RPG character?
What about Cody?
Cody's
What about
bad.
Alex?
Also,
Yeah.
also not great.
What about Hunter?
Also bad.
What about
about Butts?
Nash?
I like Ash actually. Clive is pretty bad.
not
Speaking
Ash,
of Final
it's
Fantasy
Nash.
16. Oh,
What about Sid?
so you
What a
mean
stupid
Sidolphus?
name.
So you then so you play as Kyle, you defeat these 4 beefy boys, and
I think it took one hit for me. I think you've got that.
that link like
Yeah.
rotation slash move that's pretty good.
Yeah, and then Kyle is thrilled to see Jessica because they're sort of dating on and off.
Jessica and Kyle remind me of my friend Tina and anyone she's ever dated in that they argue a lot.
Some people like that.
Yeah, those two have that spicy moonlighting will they won't they kind of love-hate relationship.
Mm-hmm. And they explain that they're going to go see the Crimson Dragon. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, it's to the south, and I'm 100% coming with you to protect Jessica."
Which is great. So now we got a second fighter. And he's got better combat moves than Alex. Alex, move aside.
Yeah, step aside, Alex. We like Kyle now.
So we then head south. You go through a little bit more mountain pass. The thieves are protecting the women and children taking the pass. And then we go to Reza, which is where we're supposed to meet. Well, oh, right. I don't remember why we go to Reza. But we do go to Reza and then immediately get our dragon wing stolen by a thief. And we talk to the bartender there because Kyle's like, "Oh, go talk to the bartender there," because the bartender is secretly... Oh, someone else in the town tells you that's secretly the leader of the Thieves Guild. And the bartender's like, "Well, if you want to get that back, you're going to have to become a member of the Thieves Guild because thieves can't steal from other thieves. So here's a side quest, I guess. Except you have to do it.
Yeah, it's not really a side quest.
Yeah, it's a side quest, but you gotta.
Yeah, to join the Thief Guild, you have to go somewhere else entirely. And
Yeah, that
steal
makes
to go to
that
the
makes
spire.
a lot of sense.
Well, at
you have
first the
to-
you
guy
don't know
tells
that.
you the only thing you have to do to join the Thieves Guild is to get me to say I lose. And so Kyle challenges him to a drinking contest, which Kyle wins, but then he's like, "Wait, never mind. You actually have to go to the spire and get
Yeah.
No,
the Thieves
he doesn't
Guild
say you have to
crest."
go to the spire. You have
He
to go to
doesn't?
Marriott first.
Well,
Why
yeah,
don't
you
you-
go to Marriott, and that's where you meet the I Lose guy. After
right.
a bridge collapses and you all almost drown, and Kyle's like, and Jessica's like, I'm an amazing swimmer.
I like how
so
all
you
of
didn't even need
these
to rescue me.
residents of this town are all like backwoods, like
Oh,
hicks
I
with
didn't like
accents.
this. Speaking of
yeah, it's
idiocracy,
the accent stuff. Like, I don't want to read that, man.
is-
Like, it's
Yeah.
not fun.
You know when Stephen
It's like
King...
it's like reading Rogue written by Chris Claremont. It's not good.
When Stephen King goes too hardcore into someone being a yokel, it's like that.
Yeah.
And so they all have we're all Cunninghams here, and we're all brothers and sisters, so we gotta find new blood to mate with.
Mm-hmm.
And you meet Ma Cunningham and all the other Cunninghams. You almost drown, and then you find the guy, the Thieves Guild guy that you're supposed to find. He's like, take my notebook, go to this tower, because I don't have the guild crest. It's actually in Damon's tower, and you gotta do that trial to get the guild crest.
Yeah.
Damon's
there's
Spire.
Oh, sorry. Spire.
There's a pretty thick woods
Did I
that
walk
we go
away and miss the discourse on...
We're getting to it right now.
Okay. Thank you, Vanessa.
So there's a pretty thick woods that you have to go through to get there. I found this a good place to grind because nearby there is a little temple to the goddess and a hot spring adjoined to it. The hot spring you're allowed to use for bathing if you have some soap with you. And I had read a guide that suggested I buy 2 bars of soap on the boat. So I'm like, cool, I'll use the hot spring now. I'm told by the lady, it's like men's time right now. All right, that's fine. I use the bar of soap. It shows the 3 gentlemen in the party splashing around in the hot spring.
Mm-hmm.
They all have their towels on. It's not a very long shot. It's like one of those bromides, basically.
You do get Kyle all flexing
up.
and muscular in the water.
Yeah, he's flexing and muscular in the foreground, and the 2 Twinkie boys are twinking around in the background. Having a good time. And I'm like, all right, fine. Now I'll do the other soap and it will probably be the women's turn, right?
No.
So I do the other soap. What you get is a single figure. It starts panning up their slender legs. And then you see a little peak of something. And I'm like, is it a shoulder? Is it an elbow? No, it is a straight up bare bottom, and pans over the butt, up the back, and to
not a Charmin commercial.
Yeah,
this is not a Charmin.
Yeah, no, and
or bear porn
to the head of Nash, who is admiring himself in the mirror, while he is buck naked, and then over this shot of him, you hear a whole choir of voices go, "Ew."
I got this shot just for using 1 bar of soap.
You do only use 1 bar here.
I don't. First of all, no, you cannot only use 1 bar here. You can go back.
That's what I. But I.
Second of all,
you can use 1, and then you can use another and get the exact same scene. Right?
Yeah, John. I don't know how you could have gotten. How did you get this scene, Vanessa?
1 bar. I just had the men bathe, and then I immediately bathed again and got
the Nash scene.
Yep.
Huh.
I mean, I only used it once, and I got the Nash scene.
That's so weird. You didn't get the 3 of them in the
No,
thing
I didn't
together?
get the Kyle one. I just got the Nash one. I don't know. Maybe
There's not a Kyle one. There's a group shot. Also, I don't believe Jim. I think that he played it 3 or 4 times. Because he had 99 soap bars. Let's be real.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and do it even more after we finish recording.
So I know that there's a ladies shot like this, right? And I'm not asking because I want to go back and do it. But how do you get the ladies shot? Like, what's the difference?
I don't know. It seems like the women's spa was not open yet. So I assume you have to go back.
Oh, back later.
So after we're subjected to that,
you posted this in the group chat 100 times.
Well, I
had to delete Google Hangouts from my phone because I was afraid my children were going to see the pornography.
And then she emailed
underage pornography.
Well, admittedly, at this point,
when we started recording, she
First
held
of
it
all-
up and showed it to us on the camera because she wants us to be complicit in her fucking crimes.
At this point, I was telling Vanessa to Hey, Vanessa, sorry, I accidentally erased our back messages. Can you post it again? Oh, sorry, I didn't get that message.
Tony asked for it 3 or 4 times.
But then Vanessa's like, oh, come on, he's like 19. And I found a screen grab of the wikia for this saying he's 17. Then I posted a picture of Chris Hansen and I wrote Vanessa on the picture and pointed to the person he's talking to. Weirdly, the guy that Chris Hansen's talking to in this picture of Chris Hansen seemed to be dressed like Ness.
He's dressed like
He's wearing like
I think he's dressed like Evan Hansen. Evan Hansen movie. Waving through a window.
It had real Hello Fellow Kids vibes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It looked like he should be holding a big lollipop and have a beanie with a spinner hat, on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you wear beanies with spinner hats all the time.
It's my buzzhole.
Yeah.
My kids
Wears beanies
yesterday.
with spinner hats, and then he holds a giant swirl lollipop.
Mhm.
It's very strange.
I was sitting here working yesterday, and my kids were in the living room talking, and Haley started making fun of Connor because he didn't know what Homestuck was.
Mm-hmm.
But then she was like, I don't really know what Homestuck is either, but I know more than you.
Well, I was doing home.
And I wanted to be like, I was busy, so I didn't want to get involved, but I wanted to be like, who fucking cares? You're talking about a 2000s webcomic. It's the lamest thing you've ever talked about.
Not a 2000s web cartoon, which is amazing. That's Homestar.
I know you love Homestar. I have never really enjoyed it. I watched it.
I love Homestar. Anyway.
I have boxing gloves and I type on my computer.
How do you type with boxing gloves on? So, where were we? Oh, we're at the Springs. So then we finally go to Damon's Tower. If we were South Park, we'd go for low-hanging Matt Damon fruit here. But we're not. We're above that, aren't we? We're classy. We're a kind of podcast that doesn't make the easy jokes.
It's true.
We're not classy. We are the kind of podcast that makes low-hanging jokes.
Mm-hmm.
But Matt Damon jokes, so old.
It's played out. I mean,
what is it, 2005?
Well, 2004 it was the Pea Puppets movie.
Yeah. If you're going to make fun of Matt Damon now, it has to be in the context of crypto, I think. His endorsement of crypto.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
otherwise,
didn't
that
endorse
well's
crypto?
kind of dry.
I think a lot of people who have integrity and wouldn't just take any sponsorship money they were offered would not.
Okay, so nobody?
Yeah,
because they all did.
I don't watch. I don't think I've seen an ad for crypto except on Twitter a couple of times, but I don't even know where.
That
one was in the
Matt
Super
Damon
Bowl,
one
right?
played in front of movies in theaters. That's where I saw it.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Not here in Canada. No, sir. We don't have time for that crypto malarkey. Remember NFTs?
Yeah.
When they were going to be the latest thing? What do you think people who have those dumb monkey ones are like, well, it's going to come back in value soon? We're just
they
the
probably
dip right
wake
now.
up and look at their ape Twitter profile avatars and cry gently into their hands.
Yes, that's exactly what happens because a lot of dipshits lost a lot of money.
Imagine paying like $20,000 for one of those fucking ape NFTs. Fucking losers.
Did y'all see what happened with Neopets?
No.
Neopets got bought by somebody and then got bought by somebody else.
Vanessa.
And they were trying to they said they were going to do like an NFT game. But then the company decided to sell off a bunch of assets. And the people that were making the NFT game somehow talked them into selling them Neopets back.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've ditched the whole NFT game concept and are just going to do a mobile game.
Oh, well, I guess
That's great. Good for them.
I love that
Yeah.
the whole history of Neopets is like this super long, like it's a weird underground web history and like a corporate history.
Yeah, and then like Mormons bought it or something.
It gets really weird. It was Scientologists. It was Scientologists that bought it.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, for a while. I think they divested, but for a while it was a Scientology thing. And it's like, yeah, that would make a great, if you want to do a true crime or true story documentary about a weird brand thing, I think that you can make a really good Neopets documentary.
That's been happening a lot lately. These like in these movies about the invention of a thing that people made $1 billion off of, and like I fucking hate
saw
that
a trailer.
Mhm.
There was a trailer for one that I was like, oh, why are you doing this? And I can't remember what it was for.
shit. There was one for like Flamin' Hot Cheetos. The
there's
only
one
one that I
for-
think
with
I would
Elizabeth-
Oh,
the
yeah.
only one I think I would consider watching
The Air
is the
Jordans?
Blackberry one.
Wasn't that one?
The Blackberry
What's the
one.
movie coming
looks
out?
funny.
Why?
Because it.
I love the guy that stars in that. What's his face from It's Always Sunny, but I still have zero interest.
I've heard it's really
What's the
good. Like I
Elizabeth
heard the
Banks
script is really good.
one?
What, John?
There's an Elizabeth Banks. There's an Elizabeth Banks movie about some brand thing. It was like, oh, let me see.
I love Elizabeth Banks.
I don't remember that
Well,
one.
it's not out yet. Banks.
Oh, Cocaine Bear. You're talking about Cocaine Bear.
Let me.
Yeah,
I
Cocaine
hated
Bear.
that movie.
Am I saying it bad? I think I'm saying it bad. Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear. Cocaine Bear.
I love Elizabeth Banks. She's fantastic.
Everybody loves her.
But that Cocaine Bear movie, P.U.
Yeah, no, it didn't look
Cocaine
good.
Bear.
It was one of those movies where there was a lot of hype around it. Like, this is going to be great. And I was like, I don't think it. I don't think so.
I turned it off about a third of the way through. I'm like, you know
Oh,
what?
the
This is
Beanie-
not for me.
That's what I
There's
did with Renfield.
a new movie coming out called The Beanie Bubble with
Oh,
Elizabeth
I
Banks.
saw that. That's an
the
Apple TV movie.
Ah.
That actually does look pretty
I just
fun.
started seeing ads for that today.
Yeah, me too. I was like,
Wow.
they are the people are doubling down on this like nostalgia brand documentary and
Yeah, these
I
like,
the Tetris
capitalism
thing
films.
and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I'll you know what? I'll say it again. P.U. P.U.
All right, brand films are so hot
What does
right
PU stand for?
I don't know.
now. Poopy urine.
Public University.
Police union.
Hey, remember that movie PCU? What a great movie.
I fucking loved that movie.
Of course you did.
Well, they played it on Cartoon Comedy Central every day when I was 12.
Yeah, I know.
What do you want from me?
So,
Oh,
next,
it's not. P.U. is not an initialism at all. According to
It's just an
Grammarphobia, the
exclamation?
exclamation likely derives from the early 17th century word pew, which defines as expressing contempt, disgust, or derision.
huh?
Okay. Well, if we don't finish this episode soon,
PU.
I'm going to cut it off.
Okay.
Is what I'm going to do.
He's going to
Cut
express his
it
own
off?
contempt,
Is this
disgust,
like
and derision.
The
Cut
Don
it
Corneo
out.
talk.
Cut it out. Yeah.
Vanessa and I had a great talk about Dave Coulier yesterday, but we
What
don't
did
have
I just
time
say?
for
We
that.
did.
What did I just say to you?
We don't have time.
Okay, this
for
is the
Dave
end of the
Coulier.
episode if we don't wrap it
I
up.
think a movie that
All
I
right,
would like
so-
to see. I would like to see a Dave Coulier biopic.
We
Why?
Why not?
We were talking about my new ship. It's called You Yada Know.
Yeah. All right, that's her new yacht. It's not your new ship.
That's
It's
good.
what you're going to name your yacht. So
Yes.
Damon Spire. We go up that every so often. You get quizzed. Every floor you
This
get quizzed
fucking
by a
game
wizard.
loves. I'm sorry, John. This fucking game loves to handicap you in fights, right? Like every floor of this tower is a different. Like, well, now you can't use magic. Now you can't use physical attacks. Now you can't use items. Tee hee hee. They've done it 100 times at this point. I'm so fucking tired of it.
Well, for this one,
We're
I
a
thought
third
it
of the
was,
way into this game.
some group, like one floor had enemies that are weak to magic. One floor had those huge beefy boys.
Not weak to, could only be damaged
Oh.
by.
But the beefy boys were immune to or resistant to magic, but they weren't resistant to showing their bare butts with those hot thongs they were wearing. And zapping me with the lightning
I,
of erotic charge.
I found myself really appreciating the ability to do like what do they call them? Templates.
Yes.
Tactics.
The tactics.
I made a physical attack one. I made a everybody does area attack one. I made a magic only one.
Mm-hmm. That was very helpful in this scenario.
I set Jessica to always be AI because she'll heal if someone needs healing. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. Jessica, do whatever you want. And she's pretty good about either healing or fighting, depending on the situation. So yeah, this was a clicky switch puzzle dungeon. Are you going to call this traversal mechanics? I call this a puzzle dungeon where you got to like click a switch and open a door. Except there isn't.
Yeah.
I guess it'd be more puzzly if there were multiple switches and you had to figure things out. That'd be
there's
more
no puzzle to it. You just have to walk across each switch. So yes, these are traversal mechanics.
So you go through each layer, and at each staircase, the old man has a question for you. What I like is you don't have to tell him the answer. You have to pick who will know the answer. And I thought that was a fun thing. Don't pick Kyle. Mm-hmm. Kyle doesn't know anything.
He doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Nash or Mia are good at knowing things.
You have one where they want you to kick a party member out, basically.
Oh,
but you can just say no. You say no a bunch, and then they're just like, yeah, good choice.
Yeah.
The power of friendship.
Yeah, that's what I did. Mm-hmm. I was like, no way. Can you have one of my party members?
Yeah. And the final,
I like didn't
that
have a problem with
task
his
that the
challenges.
Taskmaster of this spire.
What did you call him?
He's a taskmaster, and his final thing was to make the best sculpture to appease the taskmaster.
That's a great task. Oh my God. I suddenly I don't know what it is. Like, I thought this was okay when I was playing it, but just something about the way you describe it. I really am into this guy now.
Nash makes the city of Vane. May makes a dog out of the umbrella, and it had a tail that could wag and everything. Let's see. Kyle makes a sword because that's the most best thing that he knows, most important thing. Mia, what does Mia make?
I skipped everyone and just went straight to Alex.
Dog. Doesn't she make the dog and Jessica makes like a necklace kind of thing? Did you get the dialogue? So
no, I was inserting stuff from Taskmaster in there to be a bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I totally missed the reference.
Made a dog out of an umbrella. And then I was going to say that Jenny Eclair made a fashionable dress.
You're right. That was a Taskmaster reference. It was really good. And I apologize, Johnny, for not picking up on that. I really should have. And I guess my title of the #1 North American Taskmaster influencer is revoked.
I think, is it Jessica that makes the necklace of strength or whatever?
She makes a necklace of strength,
and then it was her mother's. The one that
the one that Kyle said she
her
was
mother's
super
necklace.
hot in.
Yeah.
In my version, Kyle says that her sculpture looks like an IUD.
No way.
Oh. Really?
Yep, 100% that happened.
Wow. I don't think that happened for Jim or me.
No, definitely not.
Matt, did you get this dialogue that it looked like an IUD?
No, he skipped right away.
No, I skipped through. I skipped straight to Alex.
Yeah. Well, you missed out.
And Alex, Alex thought he was doing a sculpture of Luna. Everyone else thought they were doing a sculpture of the goddess, even though it looked exactly like Luna.
Yeah, and they're all like, whoa, that's weird. Isn't that weird, Alex, that you thought you were doing a sculpture of Luna and everyone thought it was the goddess? Isn't that weird?
Huh.
That's weird.
It has nothing to do with her mysterious past.
No. That's just weird.
So then he's like, yes, you're right. That was the most important thing. Good going. Now, Alex, I want you to read every single bookcase in this dungeon. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I have to record this podcast. It's already getting late.
It's like there's nothing to read. It's just like the dragon, master will fall, and then another thing will rise, and then some hero will come.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it specifically says that the dragon master will die, and then a child will take his place. So, but also we kind of skipped over a huge plot point during the conversation with Quark when Galen reveals himself as the Magic Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
Before he does that, he does ask Quark a very important question.
Oh, yeah. He's like, is this the child from that night?
Oh, yeah. And Quark's like,
Quark
yeah,
is like,
sure.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, so we finally get to the spire. He gives us the guild crest and then says, oh, you can give that notebook back to the guy in Mariod, which you don't have to do. That's why I didn't bother. So then
you can stick it in the cat's inventory and it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So then you go to the Reza again, go talk to Thieves Guild guy, and he's like, oh yeah, he's probably the thief who stole your stuff's probably in this bazaar right behind me. And he opens the door, and there's a whole other town basically behind that door, including a guy he's running a little shop, and he's selling he's like, get your dragon wings, I don't know what it does.
It's not another town, it's one room.
Oh really? It's a bunch of rooms in well, anyway, the PSP version, it feels big.
Yeah, it's just one room in the version we're playing.
But
the real version.
Does yours have the girl in the pink dress who wants to be friends with you and you have to talk to her and then she gets kidnapped?
Yes, of course.
No?
Oh, okay.
But it's not in the Thieves' Bazaar. It's on the way to the Thieves' Bazaar.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but so that whole area behind the bar is its own thing. Like it's got like some rooms and there's the little girl.
I guess it's 2 rooms.
There was another door I didn't go through because I stopped playing here. So what happens next? Because, I didn't get the plan. Where do you get these plans?
Well, you go down to the Thieves Guild and you find the man that's got your wings. He's the weapon merchant. And, Kyle bullies him and you get the wings back. And another bar of soap.
Yeah.
And then when you head back upstairs, the girl in the pink dress gets kidnapped. The fortune teller, whose name I can't remember, is there. And she does the same thing she's done 10 times now. She kidnaps a singer.
Oh, right.
Because they're kidnapping singers.
She's like, it's really creepy how they lure these kids. Hey, kid, you got a really pretty voice. Come with me.
Yeah. Yeah, for a game this horny for children, it's weird. Also, why are they still kidnapping singers when Gillian has figured out which kid it is and already
I was wondering the same
her?
thing.
She needs backup.
I guess. Yeah, she's got to have some backup singers.
So she gets kidnapped. I thought there would be a boss fight here, but there's not. The dad shows up and is like, what the fuck just happened? And we're just like, we don't know. But we need to find the red dragon. And he tells us, okay, well, he lives in the volcano, but there's an impassable mountain. But there's a man in the Thieves' Bazaar selling blueprints to a balloon that you can use to cross the mountains.
He's not selling them, he just gives them to you.
Well, the head of the Thieves Guild tells him to hand them over.
Oh, right.
And then we take those blueprints and we take them to the town of Iluk. And we give them to an inventor who is very glad to have them and offers to build us a balloon. He tells us we have to find a fluffy bug.
Ooh.
So he's going to build the balloon and we're going to find the fluffy bug. And that's where we end.
Nope. Next time we're going to defeat the Shadow Spectre in Talon Mine. And that's where
What do you mean, nope? Yes, that's where we end.
Where we're ending for
next time we're going to end at the Shadow Spectre. What the fuck?
Next time on Square Roots, we beat the Shadow Spectre. Beat him right
Look at him. He looks evil. It looks like a bomb from Final Fantasy.
It does.
But black.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So, there is, Jim, what are you squarely against?
I will say I'm roundly for the Silver Star Harmony experience. I switched from the Silver Star story version to the PSP Silver Star Harmony, and it's way better in like every respect. The dungeons are shorter and way more linear. The graphics are better. I like the character
Shared
renders that
inventory?
you get when there's dialogue. We have way better inventory management. Even the menus are better. Yeah, roundly for this version. Vanessa, what are you squarely against?
Hey, yeah, so I was playing this game, minding my own business, just having a good time, and thought I'd go to these hot springs, and it showed me the full bare butt and back of Nash. I didn't ask for it, I didn't want it, and I am squarely against it. Matt, what are you squarely against?
I'm squarely against the this game's tendency to handicap you in battle by taking away things like your ability to use items, your ability to use magic, your ability to use
Weapons.
physical attacks, or your ability to use weapons in any way, shape, or form. I found that very frustrating, and I think it's very I think I kind of get the idea of like we want to switch things up and not have you do the same thing every time, but I don't think it implements it well.
Yeah, I think that's where it being a 90s game, like early 90s game, kind of shows its age.
Anybody else?
I'm going to be roundly for the sculpture task. I thought that was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
And like you saw a little personality
Don't
of
call
each
it
of
a
the cats.
task.
It was a task.
Call it a
It was
task.
obviously
Call
a
it a
task.
task.
So I'm roundly for that. All right. Vanessa, do you have any emails today?
No.
Good.
squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Jim, what's a Patreon?
A Patreon is a platform that we use to offer paid content. You can sign up at patreon.com/squarerootspodcast. A lot of sweet bonus content on there. I still need to figure out what we're doing for this month's bonus, but last month,
It's the 20th.
I know. Last month, we had a great hot gaming news bulletin. Lots of cool level up content, some movie talk, some movie commentary. Lots of cool stuff going on there. We did a YouTube thing that was also put on the Patreon a few months ago. That was fun. If you'd like access to that content, you can have access for $3. The $5 level, get access to all that content, plus the ability to vote on games that we play on the show. If you'd like to sign up for that, you can do so at patreon.com/squarerootspodcast. Another benefit of being a patron is we like to personally thank some of them on the show. I'm going to kick us off this week by thanking ENS, Butts on Parade, Oh No, Cameron Shoei, Armin Hammer, who's excited for a remastered Bean Valley. I am. Jeremy,
Yay!
I am. My battery is low. And Sean Gonzalez.
I'd like to
Someone else go. I'm not ready.
I'd like to thank Matt, insert clever name here, Jorgensen, Jay Burt, Stephen Paget, Sergeant Spaghetti, Nick Moriarty, Kristen Ingram, Robert Wishbone is Gay, and Wash in the Wind.
I'd like to thank Zachary Bullet Ant Harbison, Tyler Crump, Citrus C, Orcus the Great, Jesse's Mom's Pizza, Keysby Knight, Rachel, friend of DeSoto, Aaron O'Toole, and Jesse wants that Buster Sword.
Yes,
don't
she
we all?
does.
He or she.
And
Jesse's
I
a
would-
non-gendered name.
And I would like to thank Joshua W. Broxton, Chris Sasaki,
You skipped a
Megan
name.
Sullivan. Did I?
Yeah.
Joshua W. Broxton, Anthony Lima, Chris
Not what that
Sasaki,
says.
Megan Sullivan.
What are you reading?
She's
What am
reading
I
Disney
reading?
Dreamlight Valley is what she's fucking reading.
You can't just guess a name.
Joshua W. Broxton, Anthony
Lerma.
Lerma,
Yes.
Chris Sasaki, Megan Sullivan, Tova Keen's Discount Dragon Barn, Mary Queen of Scoffs, Joshua Rose, Mostly Rational Person, and Wedge-kun.
Right.
Wedge-kun!
That's it for
Wedge-kun. I finally got to Yonobo in Breath of the Wild.
That's it for
Yes,
this episode of
that's it
Square
for this
Roots.
Episode. Our email address, squarerootspodcast@gmail.com.
No.
Our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast group for smart, cool, very attractive people. Our Twitter handle, @SquareRootsPod. Our Blue Sky handle, squarerootspod.bsky. Whatever.
Yeah. Please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. Ghana, wherever you listen to the podcast. Thanks, Stephen Morris. That was great. I like your theme. You can find him on Twitter as Beige on Beige. He's also on YouTube. Links in the show notes.
Okay, bye.
I drop my vape again. I drop my vape every week. Why do I
Johnny.
always drop my vape?
I'm Johnny.
I'm Jem.
Bye.
Bye.
I am Matt.
Bye. Goodbye, Vanessa.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Oh, it's
Bye,
so
bye,
hot.
bye, 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 bye,
It's so
bye,
hot.
bye, 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 bye.